Hey guys, Steve here from Muscle Talks podcast. Before we jump into the podcast, some big news. Our own training app. Together with Reese Price, a well-renowned trainer, also bodybuilder and competitor, together we've collaborated to put together this program called BILT. It's for beginners. It's for those that are starting out, who haven't been around for a while, who want to re-engage but don't know where it all started and how it begins. Very simple programs, home, office, outdoors, even the gym. This training program is amazing. So if you haven't been to the gym for a while, you're looking to get started, you want a friend to come and join, be part of this gym community, this program is what you want to give them. This is what you want to start with. So I'm not going to go on any further. You know where to find it. Let's get back to what we do best, and that's Muscle Talks Podcast.
Exercise. I haven't got time. I think that's what I was saying to myself all the time. I haven't got time because I've got to do this. I haven't got time because I've got to do that. I can't exercise because it's raining. I can't exercise because it's too cold or it's too dark. As you know now, I go for a walk every morning in the dark. But when I did get to that end point, I ran out of excuses. So the old way of nursing was the senior nurses would take on the junior ones, and there was this terrible underlying, dare I say it, bullying in nursing. We're trying to get rid of it. I do remember this particular person saying to me, Charlotte, knowledge is power. And if you have the knowledge, then you have more stature in the hierarchy of nursing. I go to work so I can train. My friends at the hospital know that I go to work to earn money so I can do what I truly love, and that is...
She's a late bloomer, but who cares? She's taking over. Transformations one day, top of the IFBB game the next. She's not girly girl. She's a role model, ambassador, sponsored athlete, nurse. She's the new 12th member of Ocean's 11. She'll take your temperature and make your temperature rise when she's competing. It took her 20 minutes to get into this world. She's better late than never. She's older, but younger. Please help me welcome from England, Hobart, England, Gold Coast to Albury, Char Todros. How are you?
Well done. What an
How was that?
introduction. Jesus Christ.
I know, Jesus Christ.
And you got the surname correct, so well done to you. Kudos.
I think, yeah, Todros. I think when I did it in the cafe yesterday, I said Tadros because I didn't have it in front of me, and I had this little kid in a pram trying to give me a bicky along the way, and I had to try to face palm this kid away because I've got my own kids. I don't need any more.
No, exactly.
How are you, by the way? Looking at the background, God, Albury looks like a pretty place.
Yeah, it's not bad. It grows on you. It's like a weed. You know, when you first arrive, you're just like, oh my God, I'm in the country. There's no ocean. But yeah, look, you can throw your tennis ball and you hit the hospital roof. That's how close you are. Traffic jams last for about 3.5 minutes. And you can own your own home these days in Albury, as opposed to, God, I can't even imagine what Sydney prices would be like, but live in a shoebox. But we've got a lovely home here. It's an older home, and a pool in the backyard for summertime, and you're a stone's throw to the snowfields for the winter. It's got an airport, so you can escape 3.5 hours down to Melbourne in the car, or Sydney the other way. So yeah, it's and a train station. So it's a pretty good town.
Wow, it is cool. I'm into the real estate. I love real estate, so I try not to take up the podcast in talking real estate questions because already in my head I was going right. What's the population there? What's the average price? I was going to ask all these questions, but I won't. You know what I'm going to start with?
What's that?
I tell you what, I'm gonna start with, because I'm gonna get everybody in very quickly, because Chris told me let's get everyone in quickly. So you lost your way in identity over the years as you put your kids first. You
Yep.
stopped weighing yourself after 100 kilos, man. That's
Yeah.
I've been there. I know that feeling. That is at 46. You were overweight, high
Yep.
blood pressure,
Yep.
pre-diabetics. So kids are now
Yep.
2017. So
Yep.
tell us tell us why, and tell us about the promise.
So, look, I was always a sporty child growing up at school. So, I represented the school. I did club hockey, sort of, cross country, anything I touched, sort of, I was good at. I'm ambidextrous, so softball, I did left-handed one innings, right-handed one, the other innings and stuff. So all through school, life was easy. You could eat whatever you wanted, and because I was just burning it all. And then, as you grow up, gosh, you slowly put other things in front of you, and they become first. And when I had kids, gosh, they were toddlers, they were active and stuff, but you eat. I wasn't overly overweight when they were first born, but I had no idea about the old saying, eating for two when you're pregnant, for God's sake. I just
Mm.
ate.
Yep.
And then, the fitness of the idea of fitness post, children, you go for a
Mhm.
walk in the pram, but then you go and have a coffee with the other new mums and a cake and a this, that, and the other. And it's not like I put on weight overnight. It was sort of over the years, a little bit here and a little bit there, calories in versus calories out, which is what I know now. But certainly there was a
Mm.
lot of calories going in.
Mhm.
And a lot of, Italian food, there's a lot of carbs in Italian food.
Mhm.
Just not moving around as I do now. And then before I knew it, I was at a family event, and we had this big photo of everyone, because everyone lives all around the world, and we all came together for my parents' wedding anniversary and stuff. And that's the one I actually have on Instagram, like in this black and white dress. And
Yeah. Mm.
I kind of knew subconsciously that I was putting on weight, so I was always behind the camera taking
Mm.
photos of everybody else.
Mm.
Um, and the classic denial sort of thing. And then this photo came up. It was sent to me by my mother, and she said, "Don't you look pretty?" Because I was smiling. And I
Yeah.
looked at it in absolute horror. Absolute horror. I
Yeah.
was like, holy guacamole. Like,
Yeah.
that does not tell a lie. And as soon as I saw that photo, I burst into tears, and I thought, oh my God, this is terrible. Um, so I thought to myself, I need to do something about this. I need to wake up to myself and stop making excuses. Like, this is
Mm.
ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. In another 10 years, I'm going to have so many issues. My knees aren't going to work. I'll probably have all these other, disease processes, because there is a family history of diabetes and high blood pressure and stuff in the family. But now I know why.
Mhm.
Is because it's lifestyle, not potentially congenital issues. So I literally made a promise to myself and said, I am going to change my life for me. And the only person that's going to do it is me, not a doctor, no, surgery or anything like that, because that's not going to fix the problem. I need to get to the core of the problem. And yeah, psychologically, I had no idea about food. It was an emotional eating sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought the only way to do it is to learn. So I literally drove to the nearest gym, because I thought demographically I need to go to a gym that's the closest to me, so there's no excuses.
Mhm.
Um, Walked in there, and I saw the guy at the reception. So shout out to Tom. He now
Mhm.
um, works in another gym up in Wollongong, but great guy. He's, hi, how are you? How can I help you? And I said, look, I need to change my life, and I need to sign up, and I need a personal trainer. And he pointed to the guy that was sitting over at the table, big guy, eating his chicken and rice. He sort of looked up and said hi, and I sort of sat down and I said, I need a personal trainer. I need to change my life. And so that was kind of like the beginning
Where were you?
of my
Where were you
journey.
living at the time?
So I was living in Albury. So I've kind of done a full circle sort of thing.
Oh, right.
Um,
Give me 1 second. Did you want to put your earphones on? Well, since we're using this software, Chris? Do you want to use mine? Okay. I just wanted to ask Chris because Chris, like I said, we're always live. Chris can hear sometimes in on the podcast, but unfortunately he sits there and all he can hear is see me nodding, me talking.
Okay.
And the poor bloke, I feel sorry for him for a second or two.
You need a little double cord.
No, we do do it. We do do it, but he didn't bring. I don't think he forgot his headset. He forgot the headset. That's the thing.
Oh, well, it'll be a surprise for him later when he's editing. There you go.
He does enjoy that too. It's there's more to it. But I just thought I'd ask. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who is following us on all platforms, but especially here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please, if you could do us a big favor, which helps us reach more people, get better, bigger, greater. We've already had some great guests anyway. Everyone's been a treat. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every week a new podcast that is launched. And I just want to say a big thank you. But again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy watching Muscle Talks podcasts. But so you've done a 360 to Albury, and so you went and saw this personal trainer. So I just want to, because I'm going to tap in a little bit now, I want to go in a bit deeper. I just want to know, how does it feel like when you realized you looked at that photo, which it is a pretty photo. There's no
it's pretty raw. But
the photo,
tell a lie.
But the photo, when I look at that photo myself, so you have Italian background, is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding?
No. I'm Dutch. Can't you tell with a high forehead? My mother's Dutch, my father's Scottish, and I'm married an Italian.
All right. Well, that's why you put on weight, and that's why life went bad, because you married an Italian. That's the problem.
With all the carbs.
We all stop now. It's not even the carbs. It's not even the carbs. It's the ego, the conversation. It's all Italian. Forget it. The life is over. I'm just joking.
Yeah. But
my kids and everyone know, and even Chris, you mention Italian, and I go off on a rant. But that's what do you think, if you could tell mums out there at the moment that are in that position right now, that they're heading down the cliff? There's a cliff up ahead, because
there is a cliff up ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
If I could tell myself from 20 years ago,
what would you tell yourself? But let's not. What I try with this podcast is, I try not to be an influencer. Or any of us really. What I try to do is keep it real. Even someone that might not be competing, they might not be going completely to the gym. They go there, they pick up some dumbbells, some kettlebells. They're the people we like to talk to, because they're the ones that are really, in a sense, not just struggling, but they're the ones trying to find a way. What would you say to someone now? Like, how can a mum who is told not to feel selfish start feeling selfish? How?
Well, it's interesting that you say selfish, because I like to use the term selfless.
Yeah, of course. Mums are selfless, but how do they get back?
But you can put it into your favor, because you are putting your children first, because they are your world. You know, you before you have children, it's just you.
Yeah.
And you can spend money on you, and you can just do you. But then when you have children, as you know, it's you've got to raise these children 24/7. They need you. So you're always putting them first, and you put yourself on the back burner. And in a sense, you kind of lose the old you, the old identity. And you just slowly fade away into the background, because you're always looking after them. And that's kind of what happened with me. I always made sure they were fed, clothed, happy, did sporting, dancing, schoolwork, hung out with their friends, and did all of that for them. But I, in a sense, forgot about my needs. And, lack of sleep. So then you would have those foods that you would normally grab for, like the cans of Coke with the sugar in it, and that glass of wine with friends, and all those snacks. The going catching up with other mums and things, and that was like survival mechanism. And those sorts of foods were carb dense, and over time it sort of you exercise. I haven't got time. I haven't got time. I haven't got time. I think that's what I was saying to myself all the time. I haven't got time because I've got to do this. I haven't got time because I've got to do that. Or I can't exercise because it's raining. I can't exercise because it's too cold, or it's too dark, or I mean, as you know now, I go for a walk every morning in the dark. But when I did get to that end point, I ran out of excuses. So there's, the little angel and the demon on your shoulders. And I guess it was the flick of the switch with the mind, because the mind is so powerful. And when you do run out of those excuses, the little demon is forever going, oh, it's okay, Charlotte, stay under the doona. You don't need to go for a walk today. But the little angel is started to get a little bit stronger and stronger each day. And the simple matter of the fact was, I just made a promise to myself that I would walk every single day, rain, hail or shine. And it was half an hour. So that's how it started. So what I did was,
So you bought a pair of runners as well.
Bought a pair of runners.
Were they branded ones, or you just went anywhere?
They were Nikes, yes. Something that I spent a hideous amount of money on a pair of shoes for me.
Good, yeah.
As my incentive.
That's a start.
Yeah. So what I did was, I also went out and bought an Apple Watch again for me to, and it's still the same Apple Watch, would you believe? Just the old version. Hasn't died on me yet. And so I set the timer. 15 minutes in one direction, and you've got to get home again. So the timer would go off for 15 minutes, and then you would walk home. So there's your half an hour. And then I slowly increased it to an hour a day. And
you never came home. Tell me, I want to ask you. I want to jump in a bit, pieces, because I like this conversation, because I've already got some of the stuff I would like to add to it. But tell me, you mentioned a gym. What gym was the first gym you went to, or was that gym? What was it?
Well, that gym was World Gym Albury.
World Gym Albury.
World Gym Albury was in Albury. So I signed up to that gym, and so that was right at the end of 2019.
Can I ask a question? Did you ever go to the gym before that? I know you were a sporty person. Don't worry about sporty.
I'll tell you what, growing up in Hobart, just a quick little segue. Growing up in Hobart, when you're 19, 20, I had the fluorescent, dare I say this, I still have it today, the fluorescent lycra of, the hot pink fuchsia bike shorts right down to the knee, with the lime green one piece. Oh my God. People wear these to fancy dresses now, but I actually used to wear that shit. And you would walk up the stairs to the classes, the classes. The girls went upstairs and did the aerobics classes, and the boys downstairs did the weights. No, I never saw women downstairs doing weights. It was, or you might go on the bike, but that was downstairs. But it was always very, very holy shit, that area is just for the men, and the women did cardio.
You're the you're the get out of here, Roxy. Get out of here, Rox. Get the hell out of here, Rox. So you I don't want to ask a woman her age, so I won't ask your age.
You can ask my age. I used to be terrified of it. Now I've embraced it.
All right. How old are you, if you don't mind asking?
I turned 50 last November.
All right. Well, I'm 55. Okay, I'll just let you know. So you kind of know the era, and I know your era you're talking about, where one, the gym, I don't know about Hobart, but the gym wasn't necessarily next door. You had to drive like 20 minutes to go to this gym. or
Yeah,
30
there was
minutes.
one down in Salamanca. That's the one I used to go down
Yeah.
to. So
So you travel 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
yeah,
In today's day and age, it'd probably take you an hour with traffic. But back then, there was not many people going to the gym, and the gyms usually
they
shut
were
at.
expensive back then too.
Yeah, they were, and they weren't air conditioned, and
No,
they weren't air conditioned. They were usually, and they were, um, you could cut your hand just on the cable machine because they hadn't snipped it
and all the
correctly.
sprays and everything.
They hadn't snipped it correctly yet,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
there was that. But it was funny because that era era was, and it sounds funny, that era allowed so much error, and that's what was so good
100%.
about it. You could just make so many fucking mistakes that because we all didn't know what the end game looked like, let alone where we were going, or we just thought build muscle, eat, train, and try to have still a good time going out, being a teenager or in your 20s. But it
I
wasn't.
think that from the guy's perspective, but from the girl's perspective,
Yeah.
you know, magazines,
Mm.
um, supermodels, you know, Elle McPherson
Oh,
era,
yeah.
that, you know, these young kids wouldn't even know who she is, let alone, you know, but for us, it was all the magazines, you know, how to lose 5 kilos in, you know, 5 weeks, and all those little questions surveys you would circle at the back of the Woman's Day or the New Idea.
But
But it was
but
all
yeah.
cardio and to be stick thin, like
Oh,
emaciated
grapevine. It was a
thin.
grapevine. One, two,
Yeah, like,
three.
and
Yeah.
that
One,
was the
two, three.
image
Step.
for a
One,
woman, like not
step.
muscle, not strength. I mean, I'm not huge. Like,
Mm,
I
mm.
do a lot of weight training now, but I'm not huge. I mean, some of the
Well,
photos you see on Instagram, it's all smoke and mirrors, but with
well,
the
I got to
angle,
look. I think like I've this is the thing that I had a little bit of trouble with, but I don't have trouble with anymore. Like I
yeah,
had trouble with. I keep telling people I started training at the age of 18. Like Chris, everyone, you've all only seen me at 20 kilos heavy, meaning
yeah.
I went to 107 kilos when I at 52. And I know why I did, because I was on medication, which I should never have touched. And it was medication I touched for 10 years. And thank God, through my own hard work, I've fucked it off. It's all to do with mental health. But I never really had issues until someone put a pill down my throat at
Yeah,
44 and it went
yeah,
downhill because
yeah.
my body actually wanted to reject it. We'll talk about that, but my brain didn't want me to put pills down my mouth because it escalated everything. So I was never an anxious person. I became an anxious person. I was never a depressed person. I became a depressed person only because like I said, and this maybe people should listen. It was because I was building a home. I was the
Yeah.
owner builder. I'm a
That's a
businessman.
stressful time in your life.
Yeah, but I had two kids. I had running my own. I was working, building a house. But we're talking about. I was digging trenches. I know nothing about trenches. I laid beams that were 420 kilos, LV 42s, 65s. I knew what an LV was. I knew what a UB was. I knew what a UC was. But what I'm talking about is I've never built a complete house. And the funniest was, I know we've segued out, what spooked me was always my parents. Now, hear me out. Your parents can motivate you in certain ways, and they did, meaning they fucking spooked me all the time.
I was
And when they
terrified of my mother.
Well, no, I was never terrified. It was just that you don't ask someone advice when they've never done it. Hear me out.
Yeah,
And I'll tell
yeah.
you what I mean by that. My mum and dad have never renovated a house, meaning themselves. Yeah, they did an extension, got a builder in, but they've never ripped the roof off, ripped the floors out, ripped the render out, ripped the windows out, knock down walls. I've got videos of my daughter at 3 years old with a sledgehammer knocking down No, 6 years old, knocking down a wall, and I've got my son in a nappy with a jackhammer. So no, seriously. But what I'm saying is, when I demolished the house, I demolished it.
Mm.
They came. I said, I want to show my parents my progress.
Yeah.
And when they came and saw the house, I looked at their eyes, and there was eyes of horror.
Mm.
And the first thing they said to me is, how the fuck, not that word, but how, basically they said, how the fuck are you going to put this together? And to be honest, as soon as they said that, I went,
oh God, what have I done?
How am I going to put this together? I just knew how to destroy it.
Yeah.
And so, no, but then I spent nights on end, days on end by myself. I didn't have music playing. I had no one visiting me. So can you imagine even 4 weeks, 6 weeks of nobody there by yourself in your head, renovating a demolished house?
Mm.
So I fell into anxiety. And the stupid thing was, because I'm a person that takes a lot of risks in life, business, properties. I've had property in New Zealand, and I don't even know New Zealand. I just fly over there and I buy something. I've bought things over the phone. I do stuff like that, right? So then I was given an anxiety tablet, call it then, or an antidepressant, and it took me on the most hell of a roller coaster ride I've ever been in my life. And I never remembered that. So I always went back to this pill thinking, oh, I should be happy. I'll go this pill. The last 10 years, I'll go to this pill. And every time I went to this pill, it'd make me put on 20 kilos.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So Chris, yourself, and everybody in except the last 6 months, I'm now 85 kilos.
Yes,
so
I can tell you, like when I was putting on weight, I got depressed, and my GP put me on antidepressants, thinking that would fix things. But it actually made it worse.
Fuck, it made it worse, and that's why I get sad.
But getting fit and healthy, that's one thing I did erase. And by working with your mindset and things like that, so you're happier within with the natural endorphins that you get out of the gym, lifting heavy circles.
Oh, 100%. But why I'm saying, like, the 35 years of training in yourself back in the days when you wore leg warmers, right? The thing was, and you mentioned, and you know, Oz style aerobics on the television and all that kind of stuff.
100%. I used to love that show.
But think about it. This is what I realized recently, and I think I told Chris this. Bodybuilding's a negative now. Everyone talks rubbish. Like, everybody is, hear me out. Let me finish for a sec. Hear me out. Everyone talks, don't eat that. Don't do that. Oh my God, that. Oh my God, alcohol. Oh my, like, they've scared us now. I don't know that. I don't know that about bodybuilding. To me, I thought bodybuilding was Superman. You can do everything. You go to the gym, you eat well, go out and have a vodka, go out and have a cigar, go out and have fun, go to Europe in a ripped up body and come back knowing, fucking did everything while you're on the Greek islands. But now it's all like fucking calories, fucking this, fucking that. It's actually, bodybuilding's not fun anymore. That's what I'm.
Oh.
What do you think?
Well, honestly, you block out the noise, really.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying to you, it's become. But these are no.
Well, that's because of technology. Everything's at your fingertips, you know.
No. But the thing is, Char or Charlotte, the thing is, what I wanted to say was, and I want your opinion, because I just want to finish with this. Most of the people that are talking this shit have only been training for 5 years, for 3 years. What I'm saying is, they're 24, they're 26. Listen, to change your body, I want to see you at 35. I want to see you at 38. I want to see you at 45. I want to see you at 49, because this game takes you to your grave. Meaning, I hope I'm training. I hope I'm training while they're digging the hole. Just let me get another set in before you put me down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, honestly, it's interesting that you say that. Like, you have people that become certified PTs, and instantly they're online coaches, you know, or let alone, dare I say this, life coaches. And they're 22. Have they been married Have they had kids?
Oh,
Have they
God.
done it naturally?
Oh,
Have they had a
oh,
C-section?
God,
Have they
God.
had an operation? Have they had their tonsils out? Have they had their
Oh, yeah.
wisdom teeth out? Do they
Oh,
know
yeah.
what pain is?
Oh,
Do they
yeah.
know what suffering is?
Oh,
Do they
yeah.
know what putting
Oh,
yourself
yeah.
last and other things forward? No, they
Do, know,
don't.
do they know that most entrepreneurs don't get up at 5 a.m. because I never saw Kerry Packer telling me to get up at 5 a.m. He just bought
No.
Channel 9 and fucking made money. That's about it, by casinos.
So, I block out the noise. So
Yeah,
I think that also comes with age.
it
So
does.
age does have its benefits. And there's a lot of young ones in the gym that actually are personal trainers, and a lot of them do come and ask me, "What do you think about this?" or "What do you think about that?" And
Well, that's
I'm
good.
trialing this, I'm trying that, and I'm kind of like the gym mum,
So I
and
read
and
that.
and I sort of wrap everyone around me and just say, "Look, this is just my experience. It's not my way or the highway, but
Yeah, yeah.
this is what I've done in life, and this works for me. But
Mm.
it might work for some other people, but." Certainly diets, there's so many cookie cutters out there, and because it's all online, and people see on Instagram or whatever someone's stories and they think, oh well, I'm going to eat that, so because it worked for her, it's going to work for me, that kind of stuff. So if I can offer any advice to anyone out there that's starting their fitness journey, you are the individual. Find
Mm.
what works for you.
Mm, mm.
Block out the noise of everybody else.
Ah,
So,
so much
but
noise.
also walking every day is free.
Oh, it's the
Uh, and
best. It's the
and
best.
walking
Do you
every
know
day
that?
is free.
Do
And
you know
and
that's
and
what?
also, yeah,
I was going to say that was the shift for me to lose my 25 kilos.
that was the
Was
shift for me
I?
to start
Yeah,
mine.
I said I went. What were the fundamentals back in the day? And I said,
Yeah.
I remember. Do you remember the days you were only allowed 20 minutes on the treadmill because there were so many people waiting for a treadmill?
Yes, you were.
No,
I know there was
you only
timing.
allowed 20 minutes on a treadmill because everyone was
I
waiting for
used
a
to sneak in an extra 10.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No one
So I'm
knows
not
this.
done yet.
Yeah, no one knows this. But the thing is, so where did you make it up? You didn't even go to the beach to walk. You actually walked from one suburb to another, which was 5 Ks away, seven
Yeah,
Ks away. And you walked home, and that was the cardio. But I got so ripped walking because of that and my diet. So that's what I said when I lost my 25 kilos. I said, you know what, Steve? You got no time to do cardio at the gym. That's that 10 minutes on a treadmill, that 20 minutes on a treadmill, that 30 minutes on a treadmill. You know what you're going to do? You're going to fucking put your headphones on. You're going to listen to some music. You're going to enjoy yourself going for a walk and daydream while you do it. So
yeah,
that's, I think, anyway, what I've just realized, which dawned on me because I love the sport. I've never competed. You've competed, but I've competed many times. I've said to people, when Ruby was born, I was super fit. You're going to think, what the fuck? No, that's how I wanted to introduce myself to my daughter. So
yeah,
when I got married, I was comp body. When I went to Europe, I was comp body. When December the 1st came, I was comp body. That's how I played. Some years I missed it, but other years I was engaged into it. So what I'm saying is, people should look at their life, not just the stage, and also look at the positives and the long game, not a short game and all the negatives. Because, man, trust me, it's great to have a steak, Diane. There's so much protein in a steak, Diane. And that mashed potato is fucking perfect. Better than Macca's, better than KFC.
yeah,
Go and have a spaghetti carbonara and tell them to throw fucking chicken in it, because there's your
yeah.
protein. There's some great,
Absolutely.
like I said, but you can't, what I'm getting at is, but also learn, like we all know, size of meals, your calorie size. I had to learn
Yes,
that. As
yes.
we age, metabolism changes. But boy, how exciting is it now at your age? How exciting is it where you're going?
Oh, look, super excited. Like, I mean, bodybuilding for me, like if there were no competitions
Mm,
tomorrow,
mm.
I wouldn't stop doing what I'm doing now because I
Exactly.
love what I'm
Exactly.
doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but also with my nursing background, when I was overweight, here I am standing at the end of the bed head telling a patient in the bed, oh, your, lifestyle, and they want to know about, you've got to lose weight, or the doctor has said you've got to lose weight and this, that, and the other because of your heart disease and things like that. And then on our tea break, we'd go and have bloody cakes and God knows what, and dim sims and hot chips, things like that, and cans of Coke. But what I'm saying is now, like, having made that change, knowing that at 46, I was, pre-diabetic, high blood pressure, morbidly obese. My BMI was through the roof. I don't know what my true heaviest kilos were because I stopped weighing myself. But when I decided to make that change, it was for life, not for 6 weeks. And then when I joined the gym, it was to make that change because I knew that weight training to change that muscle, that fat into muscle. And also in the nursing industry, I work with, a lot of our patients, they're elderly, and to be able to sit on a toilet independently, walk up and down the stairs, hang out your washing, carry the shopping, getting in and out of a car, these are things that we take for granted in our younger years. I'm now looking for the future. For when I'm older, I wouldn't class myself as old at 50. Life begins at 50, I say. I'm now looking at the future. I want to be able to do those things when I'm 80. I can see myself still being in the gym at 80, 100%.
Good. No, and you should be, but it's something you said when you said you were a nurse telling people to eat healthy, but yet you were going and smashing Coca-Cola donuts. I'll tell you what's funny. I was telling Chris this. I know,
nurses are the worst.
This is why this world at the moment, I'm just laughing my head off. Thank God you're on, Charlotte. The thing is, I'll tell you what's really funny. I had this financial advisor come to see me, and he's rocked up in his suit and Hyundai, and he's telling me where I should put my money. And I've got 7 cars, 9 motorcycles. I live on the water, and I'm thinking, should I be telling you how to? Yeah. And it is out in the, like, what I'm getting is, isn't it funny the bullshit we believe we do and say to people? And the most humblest, quietest people are the ones. And that's what I'm saying is, you said these lifestyle people, and can you imagine when my doctor tells me I should eat better, when I look at him and he's got this gut hanging over his fucking belt.
Buttonholes are bursting.
And I'm going like, bro. So look, maybe we've started a bit of our own negative here, but God, do we love bodybuilding? God, do we love bodybuilding? I love bodybuilding.
I love
bodybuilding. And you know what I love about bodybuilding? I don't know if you still do have that, but isn't it great when you've got off-season clothing and you've got on-season clothing?
I do have pump covers, absolutely.
Because
absolutely, I'm in my pump cover at the moment. This one's a large, so yeah.
Because
I always thought large t-shirts were for fat people, but and now I understand large t-shirts are actually quite good.
I did as well. You're right. The funniest is when you have your on-season clothing and you try to wear it when you're off season, you feel like a fat shit stuck in a.
I feel like a beached whale, or I'm that sort of animated character that you've just blown yourself up, and you're trying to fit into this eeny weeny teeny little outfit. Hence, the pump covers all come on, and the tracky dacks and stuff, and then when you do shred down, you start ripping stuff off and going, "Hey, look at me."
But the funniest is when you wear your off-season clothing, when you're ripped and you feel like a person that's homeless and can't afford clothing, and you're swimming in your clothes. You're swimming in
your someone else's clothes. Absolutely.
Is anybody in there? Hello? Is anybody in there?
No, well, it's funny. I have worn this T-shirt when I was for show, and it just hung off me. But I'm filling it out nicely now. So, yeah.
Never forgive. Never forget, twisted thoughts run through my head. They used to diss, now show respect. Still show 'em disrespect. Not that type to pout and pose, but when I pose a threat. Say how it is, my mouth has no filter, still yelling no effect.
All right. Since we're talking about philosophy, we're not, but let's go into our philosophy question because I thought okay, so philosophy. I Googled last night, Chris and Char. I Googled last night. Where did philosophy come from? And it originated from the ancient Greeks. Of course, we did everything. Shaped by one of their own, Socrates. Socrates, yeah. And he was the father of philosophy. So he was actually, he was put to death in the year 399 BC for his irreverence towards the gods. So anyway, so this was one of his quotes, one of Socrates' quotes, and I want us to mull over it for a second.
Okay.
The unexamined life is not worth living. There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. I'll go to Chris first. Let's go to Chris. Now, wait, Chris takes forever to answer, I've noticed. So let's just... Oh, don't go. Do you need me to... Wait. Do you need me to fucking repeat the question?
One good knowledge.
All right, go, Char, go. So in other words...
one good knowledge and one...
evil is ignorance. So I'll say the quote again. I'll say the quote again. The unexamined life is not worth living. I agree. There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. Which one do you want to live? So I'll go first. How do I read this? This is how I read it. It's not on purpose. I think we're all trying to live the life we're supposed to live. We're supposed to live this life that we believe we want. But I think the life we want is supposed to be easy. But I think the life we want is thrilling, exciting, ever going around a corner you don't know, or a bend, or a building that you don't know what's next. But somehow you don't want to know everything. And I think life unexamined means that, hey, guess what? Which is cool. These people are cool. I'm an accountant. I was an accountant for 60 years, married, 2 kids, a really happy house, and I'm 80, and my time is up on this earth. Now that to me is an unexamined life, because it's a life that you've put pretty much, and it's a good life. I don't want to take it away from people. It's a good life, but that's not a life of knowledge. It's not a life of knowing more, understanding the other. It's playing your game your way. So that I feel wanting to have a thrilling life, it could be 1 minute you're winning, the next minute you're losing, and you're trying to come out of the mud. But then the evil life is ignorance, is not wanting to grow as a person. So that's my philosophy on what he's saying. What do you reckon, Char?
Well, I mean, they're all very, very good points, and that's the thing. We're all individuals. Like
we are.
I remember in my nursing career, like someone said to me, a senior nurse, knowledge is power, and I said, okay, so the old way of nursing was the senior nurse would take on the junior ones, and there was this terrible underlying, dare I say it, bullying in nursing. We're trying to get rid of it, but you just got to weed out the old ways. But I do remember this particular person saying to me, Charlotte, knowledge is power. And if you have the knowledge, then you have more stature in the hierarchy of nursing. So so I did go away and I've done a lot of education and stuff over the time. But the old way of nursing and teaching the young, like the nurses eat their young, I slap that in the face. I find it abhorrent, absolutely abhorrent. So I am trying to be a catalyst of change to any young nurse that comes my way, that comes into my path. Knowledge is power, sure, but knowledge, I believe in sharing that knowledge. And it's, again, different mindset, you know, be the trailblazer and bring, because there's such a shortage of nurses. I don't know where they've gone, but maybe they've all gone, I don't know, or they've had experience as student nurses, got that bitter, sour taste in their mouth and thought, nursing's not for me. But certainly the knowledge part, yes, definitely. And ignorance, then you could say ignorance is bliss, you know, that old saying.
Yeah.
But to be ignorant can also be a downfall as well. So I think you need a balance of both knowledge and ignorance. So block out the stuff that you don't want to affect you, and try and lead a fulfilling life. But that only also comes with time. A 20-year-old certainly does not have the knowledge or the ignorance or the experience of life that I have at 50. They never will get it until they become 50, and that comes with time. And live life to the fullest every single day. That's kind of like my mantra at the moment. Whereas in the beginning, when I was younger, I was terrified of doing something, or I wanted to do something, but I was too unsure of myself. And that comes with, when you're younger, you're anxious and you lack confidence, and you're too worried about what other people are going to think of you. But in the end, no one cares. Just do you and be happy, and it becomes a ripple effect, you know. And if you piss people off, well, that's their issue, not yours. But you don't want to be an asshole about it at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's that balance.
I think I'm more anxious now and worry what people think now, funny enough, at 55, but it's actually
I've gone the other way.
No, but the thing is, but it's actually more, it's such better fuel for me. I think the before, humble, happy, everyone's kumbaya, I think that was the bit I didn't enjoy. I think I enjoy not what everyone thinks, is the I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, but at the same time, the anxiety is, Char, is I think to myself, I'm 55, aren't I supposed to stop taking risks? I mean, one of the reasons my wife left me. No, but what I'm saying is one of the reasons my marriage broke was she even said to me, can you slow down? And I did, and that broke our marriage. I actually conformed.
You slowed down because she asked you to, and then that
broke our marriage.
Do you think in hindsight, if you kept going, then hindsight's a wonderful thing.
No, but what I'm saying to you is, what I'm trying to say is, no, she did me a favor by leaving. That's the truth be told. Because I tell you why, because it wasn't about, of course, I would be happy to have stayed married and been with that person forever. There's no denying what I'd be happy with. What I know is that the person, the thrill seeker that I am in relation to my money, my business, my ways, it doesn't sit with many. What I'm trying to say to you is, I'm not unique. I'm not special. I'm not anything. But what I mean is, I found at 55, the one thing you said at turning of age, whether you like it or not, you've got wisdom. Whether you like it or not at 55, you've got wisdom. Whether you like it or not, you've got wisdom at 65. Whether you like it or not, you've got wisdom at 75, 80. You really don't have any wisdom at 45 and going down. I promise you don't. Why? Because your kids are still 16, 14, 15. You're still trying to work them out. Your kids are 20 to 17, and you know your eldest child is still teaching you parenting. Your eldest child
she is 100%. She even says to me, she'll probably kill me for saying this, but she even says to me, Mum, you're not being a very good mum to my younger one, because she goes, oh, you never used to let me do that. How come you're letting her do that? That's not good parenting, Mum. So she pulls the reins in because she thinks that I'm being a little bit relaxed. And yes, but I need her in my life to ground me.
No. The kids, look, they don't besides they can vote now, but I do always say, until you pay my wages and until you run the house, you can tell me everything what to do. But I do know my daughter teaches me what a 21-year-old will be like. That's what she's turning, because I don't know how to treat a 21-year-old. I've never had one. Now I'm going to have one at 21. So let's go to Chris about philosophy. Chris, what do you think about that quote from Socrates? You've had time to mull over it.
Yeah, I don't know what she said, but I agree with you. But I also think
Yes.
you need both.
You need both. What's both?
You need knowledge.
Knowledge
You need
and
knowledge.
ignorance. That's exactly what I said.
Oh, that's what Char said. You need knowledge and
You
ignorance.
need the accountant because there is no.
And you need the accountant.
Yeah.
Yes.
If everything extraordinary,
Yes.
there is no really extraordinary. You need ordinary to have something extraordinary.
Ah, you need ordinary to know what's extraordinary.
I like that.
Ah, Chris. And that's the quickest he's ever given us an answer, because he always tells me I take too
Well
long.
done,
Okay.
Chris.
That's very good, Chris. Yeah. Char said, you're an idiot, Chris. No, she didn't. She said, well, you'll hear it back. All right. All right. So you're born in England.
Yes.
You have 7 siblings. Before we find out about 22 minutes late, I just want to know, tell us about your parents, a little bit about England before you went to Hobart.
So my father is a retired surgeon, so he's in his mid to late 80s. So he was doing his rotation in England back then. So he's actually both my parents are Australian, but you finish uni and then you go through med school and whatever, and so he did his rotation over in England, because that's what Aussies did. They all went over there and did their 4 or 5 years over there. So half my siblings are Melbourneians and half my siblings are English. So the first 4 are a bit pissed off because they haven't got an English passport, but hey, that's life. So I was born in Ascot in England, and then Dad finished his registrar, whatever it is, and then he came back to Australia. So I came back when I was 2 and a half, maybe 2. So and then he went to the dean of his university and said, where shall I set up shop? And the dean said, look, there's person of your caliber and specialty, there's you could be at the top of your tree in Hobart. So he packed his bags, his wife and 8 kids, and settled in Hobart. So I didn't get a choice in the matter, because all my cousins live in Victoria. So then raised and grew up in Hobart, and went to a all-girls private school in Hobart.
Yep.
That was an eye-opener, but very sporty and stuff like that. Good school. And my 2 brothers, they went to a private boys' school. And mum and dad, probably scraped all their money together and whatever to send us all to the good schools in Hobart.
Did it work? Yeah, did it work? Did the good schools work?
Oh, look, it's interesting, every single sibling has branched out. I'm the only one in the health industry, would you believe? Everyone else is, white collar and blue collar workers. You got landscapes to politics to lawyer to running an own business, a multi-million-dollar business, to one doing marketing, one, they're all over the place. So, there's a huge range. So it certainly wasn't just a tunnel vision, but, they were all of the belief, mum and dad were of the belief if you finish school. So all of us finished school, and university. That was the generational thing. That's what you did.
Did your
So
dad
whether
deliver
they
everyone? Did your
utilised
dad
their
deliver everyone?
degrees or not, we all
Mhm.
we all went to unis. So
I'm going to ask more
um,
questions about that, but did your dad deliver the kids, seeing he was a doctor?
no, ethically, you're not allowed to.
Oh, you're not allowed to. All right. So since we're talking
No.
about birth, what's this twin brother and 22 minutes later? What does that mean? Were you just not wanting to come out? Like, what
Oh
was it? You
no,
running
no.
behind? What was going on?
No, it just happened. We were in England, and mum. There was no C sections were saved for the ones that were preeclamptic. With I mean, they obviously do that now as well, but
Mm.
these days you can book one in because
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We
it
did.
suits you.
We did
There's
for the
that
sicker one.
option, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Even
but
dropped the
back
car off for
then
a service.
C sections were only for emergencies, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So mum delivered us naturally, and obviously I took my time. I was the last. I always say to everyone, mum and dad had 7 other children, and they kept trying to produce perfection, and they stopped at me. So
Oh,
there you
I
go.
see. I can see why. I can see why. Tell me about a twin brother, because I know there's obviously twin boys, twin girls. I mean, I know I'm going to sound very stupid because there's people that are identical and not identical. What is it about
Okay.
two? I do know. I remember when I grew up, there was a guy in our group, and he had a twin sister. But the one thing they did have the same of was they were both sporty looking. They had the sporty physique,
Yeah.
and you could somehow they had the same
Tell
height,
that there
same
were. Yeah.
stature, just
Yeah.
obviously female, male. They didn't look so twin, but
Yeah, so I'll give you a little education. If you've got 2 boys or 2 girls, they're identical twins.
Mm.
However, we 1 boy, 1 girl, you can never be identical. So
okay.
basically, a boy and a girl are 2 separate eggs, and they're fertilized, and they both grow in the womb together. Identical is
I
one
sound so
egg that
sound
splits
so
into 2, and you've got the same DNA.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So
So
he's 6 foot whatever he is, and I'm 5'4". So there you go.
it's like twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah.
Oh, how cute. Oh, there you go. Look, I learned something about twins today. And so we know, because I'm just going over my questions. Now I know why you guys moved to Hobart, because your dad was going to be the top of his field at a university there. So you were a sporty kid. You loved sailing. You were part of the
Yep.
state team as a
Yep.
junior, and
Yep.
the only female to get 3rd place in the
The
nationals, and
nationals.
you were
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Tell me about why. How did sailing capture
How does
your
sailing
attention?
come about? Well, it's funny. Mum and Dad were never sailors, but down in Hobart, the DSS, the Doing Sailing Squadron, we got introduced to that, and all our siblings we all went through that yacht club for juniors, and I remember I wasn't a sailor at all. My sister was, and I remember my mum coming into the house. I was home for some reason, and she stripped the wetsuit off my sister and said, "Sailing's not for her." She threw the wetsuit on me, threw me in the car, and took me down to the yacht club. Jumped in a boat, and off I went. I was sailing with another young boy at the time in juniors,
Mhm.
and it blows a gale down on the Derwent River. Like
Mhm.
comes it. There, yeah, they build them strong down there, and we sang. And we ended up winning that race. So I loved it from day one. I thought it was great, sitting out on the banks, with the wind and just learning, with the sails and everything. And got into the state team with this guy, and I think our first nationals was at Morty Alec.
Mhm.
And we did quite well for that. And then the year later, I then got in the boat. I became the skipper, and then my
Mhm.
twin brother became my crewman.
Mhm.
And then we did Far North Queensland. We went to Bowen, made the state team, and we actually did really, really well that year. And sailing is very much a man's world. I mean, there
Mm.
are women there, but it's very much a culture of a man's world. So to be 12, and I think there was, in the whole state team between the juniors and seniors, I think there was 3 of us. The rest of them all were
Wow.
males. And everyone expected all these other people to do really well, and yours truly just came shining through and just went, see ya, I'm doing well. And that particular year I did really, really well. So
Are you
and then moved,
tenacious?
hey,
You tenacious?
yeah, you could say. You could say.
Yeah, I think you're very tenacious. I think
Yeah.
you've got I think you'd be perfect for the CIA, wouldn't you? You'd be perfect for Central Intelligence and tactical response groups, SAS,
Well, when I learn
probably
something, I want
SEALs.
to know the ins and outs of it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to learn
Mm.
how to read a sail, where the luffing was, so that you could point so high that you could literally drive your boat, and then how to roll tack properly. I wanted to know all the tactical stuff so that you never lost power as you're turning left to right, starboard to port. So learning all of that, I loved, absolutely thrived on it.
So it's intricate.
Again with sports as well,
You
I
did under
just never had that.
16s, under 18s hockey as well, and
Yeah, again, learning how to hold the grip, where to crack it. And I was a centre half back. It's funny, my PE teacher, I don't know if she's still alive, but anyway, I actually was doing netball. I was the little centre for netball, and all my siblings were playing hockey. And one day she pulled me out of the netball team and threw me in the hockey team and stuck me in at centre half. And we used to sort of muck around at home on the lawn. Mum actually flattened the lawn because we lived on a hill, so that we turned it into like a mini hockey place.
we had enough people
And
for our
I
team.
could hit. Well, it turns out I could hit a ball. So yeah. So I ended up being in the first to representing the school. I think I was in grade 8. And that was unheard of back then. You had to be in year 11 or year 12 to make the first. And I made the first in year 8. So, because my PE teacher saw a talent, I guess, in me. So I literally was in the first for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for 5 years. So
Did all this sporty stuff, and I was not a sporty person, right? I was not a sporty person. I was a fat kid that got skinny and wanted to pick up chicks. That's basically
yeah,
where I was, right? And I
I
played.
lived in my sports uniform.
I know. So
I wasn't interested in the academia side of stuff. I just went to school to play sport.
So did you want to take that further in your life? And
Mm.
why didn't you? How come you didn't?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I wanted to, my dream was to
that's what
play
I've
for
got the dreams.
Australia in
Yeah,
hockey.
there you go. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I got into the under 16s and the under 18 state team, and I did go over to Western Australia to the Institute of Sport, because that's where hockey is for Australia. And then when I was older, I was playing club hockey, and I was due to fly out for states, and I got basically got hit in the leg point blank with the hockey ball and a follow through with a hockey stick, and Jesus Christ. You can actually see when in my bodybuilding now, I've got this, it looks like I've got an extra muscle, but it's actually the injury sustained from back then. It actually split my quad muscle. So yeah, it kind of looks cool now when I'm shredded, but that's the injury, and had to do a lot of rehab. So I missed out on that, and yeah, that window of opportunity to go down that path disappeared right before my eyes. So that's when I probably then I thought, right, well, I need to go and get a job. 16, 17, started working in the local, what do you call it now? The dollar, it used to be called chicken feed. I don't know if you heard of chicken feed back then.
No.
But did that, and then just did a bit of snow skiing and stuff like that. So but the love of sailing was always in the background. So certainly moved from dinghies into yachts and stuff. So was still a member of the yacht club and things like that. So did it more for pleasure rather than for competing.
Okay. All right. Well, when you mentioned, since you mentioned going into work, you're a nurse now, but
Yeah.
you mentioned that you were in corporate real estate. And
Yes.
what was that? What was that? And why
So I work
nursing?
for a company called Jones Lang LaSalle. It's an international company.
Oh, Jones Lang LaSalle, they look after body leases in the city, big, like they're like CBRE Ellis and all them guys.
Yeah. They're on that platform.
Yeah.
So they're worldwide, and so long story short, did sort of various small things, and then moved to Brisbane. Used to live in Bris Vegas and worked for Jones Lang LaSalle. And then that company took me to London. So I did
What
commercial.
you do for them?
Same job. That's the thing. The beautiful thing was I worked for an international director over in London, and that was great because then I could
Leasing in the leasing department.
commercial leasing.
Yeah, leasing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Learning a
Yeah.
whole new world demographic. I just remember on my desk having the map of Greater London, under the laminated thing and stuff, and learning all about that. So yeah, doing it in Australia and then doing it in London, and then on weekends I would travel to France, Italy, Prague.
Yeah, I
various
know.
things,
Well,
living the life.
Well, I tell you what, those guys, because I had a shop in the city, and my landlord was Jones Lang LaSalle,
Oh,
and
there you
then there was CBRE. But what I found was, and look, I'm going to apologize in advance. What I found was, once upon a time, when there was buildings in the city, they were predominantly ran by a trust fund. A guy owned it, meaning
Yes.
Arabs and European companies own the building, but some
Yes.
guy would say, "Can I look after this building?" And he was the property manager of that building,
Yes.
and he had his staff. But then Jones Lang LaSalle, CBRE started to monopolize it. Like they started
do.
to take,
Yeah.
and they did. And to be honest, trying to say they became pricks, it was more like they lost touch with the people, because it was basically they had power. They had so much power, they knew everything. Where the guy in-house, he just wanted to kind of make sure he kept the leases, he kept it going. But these guys, Jones Lang, CBRE and everyone, they just knew how everything worked, and they could manipulate it and make it grow. But the funny thing is that I think today's day, they've got to run for their money. After COVID and the shutting down of shops,
Yes.
now these corporate leasing giants have to work for their money.
I
'Cause
have no
right
idea
now-
what it's like now, because
No, but what I'm saying is, that was me when I was 30. That's 25 years ago. But what I
Yeah.
mean by that is that I think they've got to run for their money now, because people are working from home, leasing, and all. Like, a lot of things have changed, and
Oh,
it's crazy at the
absolutely.
moment. So I believe they've got to run. They're really going to have to work for their dollars. Where before it was,
They worked for
people-
their dollars, but then there was a lot of reward for and incentives and bonuses. If you made
Yeah.
your KPIs, back then you did get rewarded. So I
Yeah.
don't know what it's like now, but times were pretty good back then when if I met my KPIs, I got bonuses. It was good.
And you could, because businesses were growing, retail was growing, people were opening cafes, shops, franchises. But what I'm trying to say is, post-COVID, because I've got a coffee business, by the way. I distribute coffee. That's my other thing I do, right? I've got my own coffee company. I've got my own coffee company. And the thing is, I see what's happened after post-COVID, and people struggling to keep their doors open, and suburbs shutting down, and streets closed, and ghost towns. So, these were prosperous areas. So that's what I was just trying to say, is they really had it sweet. But I feel at the moment, thank you, Chris. Chris just made me a coffee.
I see that. I hope that's with your coffee beans.
No. This is Greek coffee, by the way. No.
Oh, okay. Very good.
You know what? I shouldn't say. I've got some stuff here. I like training at a gym and not training at home. But at the moment, I'm training at home for certain reasons. And I don't have a coffee machine here, because I want to go to cafes and sit in cafes. So if I have so I do like stepping out. I'm going to hit a hot topic, Chris. I hope you're ready. Everyone's ready for another. This is a hot topic time. Hot topic time. No, it's a shit one. Okay. After seeing what happened recently in America, the attempted assassination of the former president Trump, I heard that if he was assassinated, that there'd be a blown out civil war. That's what I heard. I heard that this would break the camel's back. Like, this would be a civil war. Now, my question is to us, the hot topic is, are we divided, so divided that all of us think the other person's an idiot? Only force and hurt and pain can actually cleanse us and fix things. Like, in other words, do we have to implode, explode? Because I feel, especially COVID was very apparent, meaning
Yes.
it was apparent by, you saw it in nursing, in policing, in services, in myself and my family and my sisters and people and my daughter, everyone that was pro-vaccine, but also those that were opposed it. I opposed it, only not because, I mean, you know, I had vaccines when I was a kid, and I would go and take something if the doctor told me my daughter needed it or my kids needed it or whatever. It was kind of like, but that period caused a massive fracture. And I feel it opened up the red and blue, the Americans, the Democrats, the Republicans, and the world itself. My question is, since we're going to have a talk, are we divided? And is civil war going to be the fix-all? Char?
Well, honestly, I'll probably going back to COVID, being a frontline worker in nursing, and this is going back to COVID, 1.0, when we thought the world was going to implode or explode and we were all going to die. Like, that's how they portrayed it on the media, and that daily count of deaths, going across your screen. I ended up turning off TV because we were in a stressful environment. To this day, I do not watch commercial television.
You can't anymore.
I don't. I have not watched it. We've got televisions in the house. I don't watch TV.
It's sickening.
I might watch a bit of Netflix or a movie because I choose to, but I don't. I mean, even though I don't actively watch it, yes, it's there, and you might see it at work. There's newspapers splayed out in the TV room, so you can't ignore it. So, social media puts it up. So yes, I did sort of see this Trump thing, and whether you hate him or love him, no one deserves to be shot at. That's all I have to say. Is it going to divide people? Is it going to create a civil war? Again, propaganda, building up of sides and things. But I think no, it's not going to create a civil war. People would be stupid to create a civil war. And sometimes that's where you've got Socrates. You've got knowledge and ignorance. Sometimes I would say ignorance is bliss. Block it out, and then it shouldn't affect you because I don't allow that to affect my life. And it's really, yes, it does affect the economy, et cetera, but hopefully it all balances out in the end. But I try and stay away from politics is all I've got to say.
Okay. What about Chris? Chris, what do you think about what I just said?
Are we divided? We are definitely.
We are definitely divided. Yeah, I agree. I think we are. Yes.
The strategy of the big guys, divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. Correct. Yes. Yeah. Do you think a civil war is the? How do we fix this? Because I feel.
But how do we fix it? Like, why do we need to fix it?
Well,
it's this young boy that's gone and shot him, and he's got no history. Like, that's just what's so bizarre about it.
No, I'm with you. I think that before I get even Chris's answer, I think Char and Chris, what I'm seeing is, I think the kid that shot him is the excuse for everyone. We just need an excuse. What I'm saying is, it's not.
Didn't like him.
Yeah, I know that. No, but what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what the kid thought. It's the excuse that can create your neighbor to tell you off, and he's going to use the kid to tell you off. And you say, but that kid shot at Trump. But he goes, I don't care. This is my opportunity to tell you off. That's what I'm saying. Civil war is an opportunity to pull out guns and start shooting at each other and doing war, because you're going to use that kid as an excuse. That's what I'm saying is, my question is to us is not about the kid creating the shooting. Are we divided, and is it really blue and white? And Chris, what was your answer?
I don't think a civil war will help.
Won't help. Okay, a civil war won't help.
No, it won't. No. Moving on.
A revolution. Yeah. A revolution will help.
People against the government,
a revolution. Oh God. Let's go back to the French Revolution.
I think.
Shit. We have not
All
evolved
right.
as a species.
I am going to go in as Jean Valjean. All right. I'm going to be Jean Valjean from Les Mis, and I'm going in for the French Revolution. I'm going to go in.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Look, because I posed this question and I wanted to go with what's happening at the moment. I believe deep down, really deep, we are all divided, unfortunately.
Subconsciously, we are. We don't
we
like
are.
to admit it, but
That's what
of
I'm trying to
course
say.
we are.
I don't want.
Absolutely.
I don't want to say, and it's very easy to try to entertain many, but there's only a few you ever resonate with, and that's kind of how it is, you know. So, I think there's going to be a lot of pain going forward because of the way the media and our politicians are behaving, and
Yes.
I think until I don't know something's. I think the topic. I think we're going to call this podcast "The Moment That Camel Broke Its Back." I think we call it the
Oh,
Camel Broke.
really?
Because I think when we had Monica on, everything was common sense. Everything was
Yeah,
common
actually,
sense.
that's
So,
true. That's
yeah.
true.
Okay. So that was that hot topic. I think we definitely left everyone thinking.
That was heavy. That was heavy.
Well, you know, we're a heavy podcast, mate. We're the real deal here. We're not gym bros. We're intelligent motherfuckers. Where did we get to? Because we did talk about something.
That was a segue and a half. Yeah.
It was. I did segue that. You decided to go off and travel, and you went and lived in London too for about 8 months. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So,
What did you do there?
Jones Langersale, I
That's
was
what it
living in
was. The Jones
Brisbane.
Lang-
Yeah. And then that same company took me overseas. So yeah, lived and worked in London, and then travelled on weekends. And so I used to, you know, my boss loved me because I'd get into work at 7 in the morning, and between 7 and 9 the phones didn't ring, so we had 2 hours of good hard work. So I sort of banked up some hours, so some days I could leave on work till Thursday, and then travel Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Ryanair back then, you could fly to France for €10 one way. It was cheap as chips. So I took every opportunity to fly and stay wherever I could in that short period of time that I was there.
Okay, so you came home, which is maybe the saddest part because you got married.
Oh,
I want to know
yes,
now. I want to know
it's
because I want to know, and I apologize in advance that I have to ask this silly question because it is what we are in society. Are you still married?
Yes, I'm still married.
My God, how do you hide this bloke, and how does he allow all this ranting on and carrying on? That
He's
you're
not
doing
on social media. There you go.
Well, I know that, but I mean,
you will not find him.
No, we don't want to find him. But the thing is, he must seem like a top bloke.
Yeah, he's a top bloke. He's a very quiet man.
Even though he's Italian, that's another story.
No, he's a Northern Italian, so he's a very quiet man. He's a behind the scenes kind of guy. Yeah, he just goes to work, comes home. He's actually in Italy at the moment for 5 weeks visiting his parents and brothers. But
what does he do?
So he works for a company called, oh God.
Stop there. No, stop there. I get it.
Blank.
No, I get it now. Oh my God. It makes sense. They didn't go to Griffith. They didn't go to Griffith and grow oranges and sell drugs. They went to Albury. They went to Albury to sell drugs, the Italians. Right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Once you're part of the mafia, you can never quite
he's
leave.
The mafia, Chris. Oh my God. No wonder we don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah. Look, honestly, he's a behind the scenes guy. Look, he plays tennis, loves his tennis, and he's got his car. He belongs to a car club, loves this, and he's got a motorbike. And
what's he got for a motorbike? I've got motorbikes. What's his?
It's a Kawasaki or something. He had a Moto Guzzi years ago.
I think me and him will get on. What cars does he drive? What car does he do?
Well, he's got the Fiat, the Cinquecento that he brought over from Italy. Yeah. The original, the 19.
Like a can opener.
Nah. Uh, it's great. It's quite funny. It's uncanny. It's a 1973 model. I'm a
Beautiful.
1973 model.
Beautiful.
Yeah, look, and neither of us have broken down. There you go.
He sounds like a pretty cool guy. What does he do for work again? Because I interrupted with the drugs and the mafia.
Oh, look, he works. Well, I guess he works from home, but he's what do you call him? He's a electronic engineer, I suppose. It's
Okay,
hard
well,
to describe what he does, but
I don't know
he
him, but
moves around a lot and does this that, and the other.
look, I don't
Yeah, like
know
you said,
him.
he works for the mafia.
Yeah, no, I don't know him, but I like him 95%. The 5%, I won't explain why. We all know.
Yeah.
We all know it's a
Oh,
turning
I have
path.
no idea.
I do.
But
I know.
yeah,
No, that's beautiful. I just know it seems like a top bloke because we don't know him. Seems like a top bloke.
yeah. Sometimes the people that you don't know, and that's the thing. My social media presence is as you see on my Instagram page is just if you go way down to the depths, if you can be bothered down to the bottom of my Instagram, my original face-to-face coach said, start videoing yourself, Charlotte, and make yourself accountable. Stick it on Instagram, blah 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 blah, and it's sort of grown organically from that in the last 4.5 years. Yeah, I've been on Instagram for 4.5 years. I remember when I first got on Instagram, I'm like, what is this? And it's grown organically. I've learned how to press buttons and do all that kind of stuff. So.
What do your kids think of your antics now?
They love it now. I mean, Rebecca that lives at home with me, she loves it because she gets to wear all my fitness apparel, and steals all my clothes, because again, I guess I most of the stuff I wear, I mean, if I'm not wearing scrubs at work, I'm in fitness apparel. I couldn't tell you the last time I wore a dress because yeah, that was quite a long time ago. Probably at a function or something. But she loves it. In the beginning when I first started my Instagram and started posting, the kids were like cringy. They're like, "Oh, mum, that's a little bit." I'm like, "What? It's what I do. I don't care, you know." Whereas, and then as they've got older, their friends are like, "Oh, is it your mum, Char Todros?" And now she's like, my daughter says, "Yeah, that's my mum." So yeah, it's grown over the last 4 years, and they're really proud of me that I have stuck to my guns because that's the promise I made to myself, and now I'm a good role model for them. My eldest daughter, she's at uni, and she's asked me questions and stuff about nutrition and exercise and stuff. So providing a good role model for them, and you're not dead at 50, you know.
No. So it's so for what I read, it started COVID gave you a challenge. Apparently it made you use your 2 kilo dumbbells, resistance
Yes, I bought from
band.
Kmart. I remember I was at the gym, and it came on the news that gyms were shutting at midday. And I literally was at the gym, and I think there's footage. It might even be in my archives. I might have to dig it out. And it was me footage, and everyone was just somber in the gym, just
You
so
should send me
depressed.
that. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that clip.
Everyone's just sort of like this, you know, just feeling so sad, going, "Oh my God,
Wow.
gyms are going to close." And I remember videoing it, and I don't even think the music was on. It was just,
Oh,
it was
please, if
just
you find it in your
eerie,
archive,
really eerie.
send it to me. I'd love to see that.
And I thought to myself, shit, I need to finish this workout, and then I need to go to Kmart. I need to go and buy some shit because we don't know when we're going to open again. So I literally got to Kmart, and like the shelves were there, and there was like 2 kilo dumbbells. I thought, grab those. And there was some resistance bands, grab those. And that's it. Everything else was gone. So I literally had my dumbbells, the resistance bands, which I attached to the garage wall. I used a piano stool to, lean over and do pissy little 2 kilo rows. And there was, sit-ups and star jumps. And again, I videoed myself throughout COVID and uploaded this stuff for people
Where were you
to
physically?
promote it. I was in
Where,
Albury then.
no, not sorry. Where were you physically in your body when COVID came? Were you still pudgy,
Oh,
or were
so
you? Where
I
were you?
was.
It sounds
I would
like
say I
during
was.
COVID, you
I would
mentioned
say
during
I
COVID you were in
was.
best shape and very quite lean during COVID. You got yourself into some
So
best.
I came out of COVID, like in the 6 months that the gyms were closed.
Yeah.
I would say that I was sort of skinny fat at the beginning
Mhm.
of, like, I had lost majority of the weight, and then I went into COVID, and then I walked every day. I think I almost, because it was so stressful being a frontline worker, and you didn't know what was happening because it was all uncharted waters. I just exercised like there was no tomorrow, because that was my release for stress,
Mhm.
for that. So, and then nutrition, I probably underate. I probably didn't eat much carbs. It was all proteins and this, that, and the other. But I think the stress just, it was through your body. But yeah, you were allowed out an hour a day. I remember that.
Mm.
So that hour, I
Oh
pounded
my
the
God.
pavement. Do you remember those days? Yeah, you were allowed out of your
Fuck
house for an hour,
me.
but you weren't allowed to walk with anyone. And I
Oh, it's
remember,
hilarious. People wearing
I
masks
can
when
tell
they
this. I
drive
can
their
say this
car. They
now.
wear
I remember
masks when
the
they
kids
drive
would
the car.
hide up on the hill in the bushes so they could talk to their friends, because they were homeschooled, and it was diabolical. I mean, I don't know what it was like in the city, but it was a ghost town.
It
But I
was.
still went to work. I didn't stay at home. I had to go to work because I was a nurse, and so my life, I guess, didn't stop.
Yeah.
But it was very stressful. But coming out of that and the gyms opened, I remember, again, I've got footage of going back into the gym and high-fiving and hugging people. Not
Oh,
that you're allowed to
right.
hug people. We thought, oh, fuck it, we're in the gym, we'll hug people. And I actually came out of COVID better than I went in.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. Is it seems like COVID was kind of for you physically. You said you possibly in your best shape and quite lean. So when did the idea of competing come from? Then why did you?
why did I that planted that seed?
Yeah, what planted you to go
Well,
compete?
the coach at that time, he said, oh, because again, coming back into the gym, he's just gone, holy shit, you should compete. You look phenomenal. And I'm like,
Mm,
what? I had no idea of bodybuilding.
yep.
I had no idea of that platform, form, that world. It didn't exist. I mean, yeah, there was the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and that kind of stuff, but I had
Yeah.
no idea, amateur level kind of thing. So that seed was planted. And I thought, do a bit of research. And I thought, well, I don't really want to, me being me, I don't want to go to the local RSL and stand on stage and have some grandpa look at me, doesn't he? I thought, I need to go to a big federation that's glitz and glamour and go hard or
Ah,
go home. So that was the idea of,
passion parade.
and then I thought, well, what category? I have no idea. So, and then someone said, why don't you do this transformation category? You've lost the weight, the journey, da 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 da. Da. And I thought, oh, well, that seems like a good fit. So yeah, so that's what I did back then. It's called FMG now.
Yeah,
It used to be called
BFF.
WBSF, but we all know that story of how that started and finished. But at the time, that was on the Gold Coast, and yeah, so I stepped on stage for transformation category, and then I got off stage for that, and then went to the gym. I was in World Gym Burley at the stage, and I do remember John Davey coming up to me afterwards, and he said, "Fantastic, look great, but that federation is not for you. You should do IFBB in figure. I think that would really suit you for your body type." And I'm like, IFBB. Again, seed was planted. And so research, and I'm just going, oh, wow, this looks fantastic. So that was the idea of do a building season and then do that. And in the meantime, I was in my building season. and doing deadlifts, compounds, and stuff like that. And I did a PB. To this
Mhm.
day, I haven't broken it because I've never gone back to deadlifting.
What was your
And
PB?
it was 165 kilos.
Wow.
And as I was pulling it, I tore my
Oh,
supraspinatus
yeah, yeah, yeah,
humerus
yeah,
bone.
yes.
Like
Right.
I felt it rip
I had to
right
Google
off.
I had to Google that. I had to
What
Google
the
all that.
supraspinatus?
That and the tumorous.
The humerus.
Humorous, that's the one. Sorry, there you go.
Really, the humerus
I'm
bone.
really a
So
doctor here.
basically, what
Mm.
allows you to do this? I tore it right off, so I couldn't lift my arm. So I had to so obviously to have it reattached. I
Yeah.
needed surgery. So had surgery on the Gold Coast. I was actually working in the hospital that I had surgery at. So I had the benefit of looking after patients post shoulder, knowing the anaesthetists and the surgeons. So picked and chose who I wanted to do my surgery, and then my beautiful colleagues looked after me in recovery and in the hospital on the Gold Coast. And then became the journey of rehab post that. And that, I think 2 days after surgery, I thought, brilliant. I feel great. Arms in the sling, 45-degree cushion. I've still got this bloody sling to this day as a
Yeah.
reminder. I had to be like that for 6 weeks, 24 hours, just to take the pressure off the whole shoulder joint. And I went back into Burley, high-fiving him, and they're like, hey, how are you? And I said, great, I'm here to do legs. The legs, the Monty Python, it's just a flesh wound. The legs still work. I'll go and do a leg session. I
Yeah.
remember trying to pick up a 20-kilo plate to put it on the leg press. Could
Oh,
not. Picked it up with my right hand, and pain shot all the
oh,
way through my left
so
side.
yeah.
Dropped the 20-kilo plate, burst into tears, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the guy on the other leg press said, who'd had his ACL done the previous year, he goes, oh yeah, don't you realize that you actually, when you are lifting something on one side, your other muscles are compensating on the other side? I had no idea. I'm like, I can't even lift a 20-kilo plate. Anyway, so my world imploded, absolutely imploded. I thought, I can't even
Mm.
train legs. I can't do anything. And so I left the gym, tail between my legs, and
How
thought
was that time? How was that period?
that was the darkest moment, the darkest
Mm,
week, I would say, of
mm,
my
mm,
life.
mm,
I cut off my life from family,
mm.
friends, didn't answer my
Yeah.
phone, didn't go out, shut the curtains, went into
Mm.
this dark rabbit hole down there. And I thought, what am I going to do? I can't do anything. And it took, I thought I allowed myself to feel that emotion
Okay, yeah, that's good.
uh, uh, rather than block it out and try and fight it. I think it's important to have that emotion, feel it, recognize it, but yeah. And then you have wallowed down the bottom, down in the muddy bits where it's all dark, and you
Mm.
feel, you know what? It's pretty lonely down here. Let's go back up and let's go start living again. So started daily walks, reconnected with family, friends, people from the gym, work colleagues, etc. Meeting people out down at the beach, because all I could do was walk until I was allowed to start my rehab, because there was just small rehab at home to do, but then I was allowed back in the gym, and that was a wonderful moment, going back into the gym and again seeing everyone and starting my rehab. So I was doing that rehab journey,
Excuse
and
excuse
during
me.
that period, I got
Well, it
some
taught you
very,
to train your mind and be positive.
yeah, it
You
did.
wrote that it kind of taught you.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Were you always a
the
positive
mind is a
person?
powerful, quite
We
powerful tool. Absolutely.
Before that, were you positive and did you have a strong mind, do you think?
Oh, I thought I was indestructible. Life was good until
Okay.
I hit that roadblock, and it was the gift that I never asked for, but
Ah.
it actually turned me into a better person. And sometimes
Oh.
the gifts that you never ask for, you never expect coming your way, a roadblock can either left or right. You can either feel sorry for yourself, or you can again pull yourself out of your own misery. And that takes guts and strength, because I do know a lot of people that haven't quite got there. And I'm still learning. I have my flat days, as we all do. But,
Of course.
I'm not one for journaling. I'm not one for meditating. I'm not one for doing all that shit in the morning.
Yeah.
Get out of bed, go to the toilet, brush your teeth, weigh yourself, put your shoes on, and go for a walk. That is what I do. I don't
Well, do that
I don't
well.
have time for all that hoo-ha mumbo jumbo that, look, and it's for people, great, but not for me. I'm more of a
Yeah.
practical person.
I think practical is more important. I think you could look, the other stuff is just, cherry on the ice cream. If you can just get the ice cream right, tastes pretty good. Have you done any other federations, or you've just done the two for, like, did you do anything before WBFF? I just wanted to cover.
No, NABA or ICN or anything like that. No, I
Okay.
after what John said to me and said, so I got exposed to the IFBB when I was in Queensland. I went to the IFBB in Queensland for their state shows, and then because of COVID, Nationals was up there, so I saw Nationals, and the Sleeman Centre, massive
Yeah, it looks lovely,
order.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it's huge up there,
Yeah, I've
and
been
it's the
just to
Gold
watch
Coast
it.
is the mecca. I'm not sure what Sydney's like. It's pretty strong in Sydney. Melbourne, we've got some phenomenal gyms. Gold Coast,
Everyone goes to the Gold Coast because,
well, it's warm. You can walk along the
well,
beach.
I think,
Everyone's health conscious.
look, there's something about Queenslanders. There is something about them, right?
Yeah.
There is something about Queenslanders. And also there's something about the Gold Coast. It's the only place that you can look like you can hide being a bum, because you can rock up streets away, put your Versace's on, and you walk through the Esplanade and Cavill Avenue, and you think you're rich. So everybody just acts like they've made it there. Everyone's made it.
So fake, honestly. Look,
Everyone's
there is
made
a
it in the
massive
Gold Coast.
fakeness to it,
Oh,
but
I
then
love
there are
it.
some beautiful, authentic people to it as well.
I love
you got to sift the wheat from the chaff, honestly.
I love the Gold Coast. I've been there many times of late. I know Chevron Island. I love the cafe that I go to, Chevron Island. I like a certain place, a cafe that I like in Surface. I kind of know my way around there very well.
The north. You hung up the northern end.
Up a Runaway Bay. Runaway Bay.
Right. See, I lived in Palm Beach. I was down the southern end, the Soho of the Gold Coast.
Yeah, but I've been up there a lot this year, and I go up a bit, but I've loved the Gold Coast for many reasons. I think I don't know if I can live there. That's the truth be told. I'm not saying, when I say I love it, I don't know if I can live there. The reason being is, I'll tell you why. I think I already know behind the scenes that place, meaning, when I say behind the scenes, meaning, well, you still got to work, pay taxes. I think I like Sydney's bright lights and electricity and movement and speed at the moment. And I think if I go there, I'm going to lack adrenaline, because though I can go out and drink and party and have a good time and meet people and go to the gym, once reality kicks in, I think that's the bit I think I can't do up there. I don't think I can do a 9 to 5 up there. I think I need, because I live near the airport. I live near the city. So I want to go have Turkish ice cream in Newtown and try to find parking, and I struggle and tell everyone off. And then I tell the parking officer, don't book me, please. I'm just getting a Turkish ice cream. And then I might go to Bronte Beach and again struggle to find parking there. What I mean is, we're all struggling, but there's something about the struggles that I like, and that's the thing. It's the adrenaline,
and that's what makes us individuals,
Yeah,
But I love the ocean. I think I'm very much a water baby, and I think with the sailing, I love being on the water and things like that. Sydney, I don't know. I always thought maybe it was just too much of a rat race for me. So I think maybe even growing up in Hobart, so it was a quieter, and here living here in Albury, it's quieter. And the Gold Coast is like a bigger town of that, but just with the beautiful ocean that you can walk up and down. So
I think I could. This is going to sound contradicting now. What I'm going to say next. I think I could live in Albury. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying to you is, I think at the moment, even the business me and Chris are building at the moment, we can do it anywhere. We don't really
of
need.
course.
We don't need to be in Sydney to do this. And
No.
actually, me and Chris don't always have to be together to do this either. We know exactly how we're operating this and where it's going and how it's growing. So I think as long as for myself, as long as I can have flexibility that I can leave the city and come back to the city, leave the city, come back to the city. That's kind of like where I think I could live in Gold Coast Albury's, because I think I am an introverted person. I like quietness.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
community, meaning when I'm introvert, what I'm saying is I like to learn the cafe owner and sit with them and talk. That's kind of
Yeah.
introverted. I'm not an extrovert of I need everyone to look at me and I need to go to popular places and I need to be the standout. Where my demeanor seems to think I'm an extrovert because I have earrings and I wear rings and I've got tattoos and I carry on a little bit. But that's actually Harry. I keep saying that's my alter ego.
All right.
He comes out and then I shut him down, not because I shut him down because he's doing something bad. Like Steve is Steve. I know Steve. Steve is, like I said, I'm like you. I'm a strategist. I'm calculating, working out, manipulating. Not manipulating in.
Not manipulating, but looking at, and that's another thing. Like, you know, and a little segue. Like on my weight belt, it's got Char, and you know, Charlotte. How much? Even when I thought about, I wanted to put something on my belt, so that no one nicked it in the gym. You know, well, you put your name on it, and no one's going to wear your belt if it's got your name on it, are they? So someone made a suggestion, Char or Lottie or Charlotte was too long and stuff like that. And then, you know, as time went on, so I thought, I'll just have Char. It fits, it's forwards. And then when sponsorships and stuff like that came along, they're all like, oh, Charlotte 10. I'm like, no, it's too long. It's too long for people. I said, don't put a 10 beside my name. I don't want to be late. And then I'm pigeonholed. Just have 4 letters. It's on the back of my belt. So when you say strategic, I have strategically asked for that. So all my codes are just one code. There's nothing different about them. It's all Char, CHAR. It's on the back of your belt. You can't forget it. And also when people meet me in the gym, it's on the back of my belt, they know my name. So it works both ways that way. So yeah, I have strategically worked that in my favor.
Oh, I like it, but yeah, I could do like I said, I can look. I like I think I like I'm a little bit CIA, even though I seem like I'm very open. I'm very private, extremely private. You would never know what I do on my weekends and how and Harry is.
And people wouldn't know what I do on my weekends either. Like,
but
what
Harry,
my Instagram is, it's a highlight. And I think with your podcasts, all I see is your podcast, but I have no idea. Like, I didn't even know you distributed coffee. I assumed the 3OG was something with you because you're decked out in it all the time, but I didn't really know. So, but yeah, so certainly Instagram, I haven't. In the beginning, I think I might have put my children. I didn't put on there, but now as it's got older and they are older, I still ask for their permission. And if they say no, I don't put them on because they have their own Instagram accounts, private, blah 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 blah. But occasionally they come on and there's a photo with them and stuff like that. So. But certainly, what I do in my downtime is my private time, and I like to keep it private.
Well, then there was a question.
Oh, well, you're not going to ask it now.
Well, because you did write this in your notes to me. So how about because I asked you and you kindly gave me a lot of which is lovely. Thank you. You mentioned as well, you moved back to Albury
Yes.
to look after your brother as well. And I know we're not going to go into that too much more, but
No,
was
that's
that predominantly was that predominantly the reason you went back to Albury, or for many reasons? Is one of them?
That was the reason to
Okay.
come back to Albury. And then when I came back to Albury, with the lifestyle I had on the Gold Coast, you know, the recovery centres, walking along the beach, you know, all of that sort of thing, coming back into the country and going back to my old gym, it just didn't align with me anymore. I just thought, I can't do this. I need to not go backwards. I'm here for a reason. So I had some discussions with World Gym and said this World Gym needs to come back to Albury. And then 8 months later, World Gym opened its doors, and I'm very happy there. And it has a recovery centre in it, so it's got the saunas and the pools and the compression boots, which is what I was used to on the Gold Coast. They were separate businesses, but the idea was to have a one-stop shop. And World Gym Albury is actually the trailblazer for all future World Gyms now. There's a wellness centre. Yeah. There is a wellness centre in the gym. And so you will find if you go into other World Gyms now, they will start having saunas and recovery pools in their gyms. Yeah, so that was where the idea came from. So we're very happy with World Gym here in Albury, and there's actually one being built as we speak in Wodonga on the other side of the border. So
hang on a second. So firstly, you're an ambassador for them. That's what I've
yeah.
But when you said you spoke to them and said you've got to open up a World Gym here, like it's not like I mean, do you have that much pull? You have that much push? Are you somewhat connected?
A bit like the mafia, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit like the mafia in Albury.
Again, privacy, won't go into too much of it, but you know, ideas pop up and things from an idea, they come into fruition. But that's all I have to say on the matter.
All right. That's not too much. Don't give us away.
No. I like to keep, things, as they are. So, but I love working out of World Gym. I love promoting World Gym. Because World Gym really is what started for me, and they're very much a community-based gym. All walks of life, and the beautiful thing about World Gyms, yes, they are a franchise, but you can walk into a World Gym anywhere across Australia, and you know what you're getting, and that's what I love about them.
Come on, don't tell me that the World Gym in Albury has so many tripods as the Eastern Suburbs tripods.
No. We actually have a policy.
Because the Eastern Suburbs, not only is there give way signs and roundabouts around tripods.
No. You can use your tripod, like if you tripod in the quiet times, but in the busy times, respectfully. And we also have a privacy policy of if you are going to upload it onto social media, try not to have other people in the background and things like that. So there are people that go to the gym for various reasons, and they don't like to be in the background of other things. So if you see most things on my stories and stuff, no one's in the background, and if they are, I've got permission from them, that kind of stuff. So I do respect the privacy side of all of that sort of stuff. But
okay.
Yeah.
So James Matt,
Yes.
Emily, King
Yes.
Bodies, and James, only the committed. I mean, a few others there. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've had them on the podcast. I mean, I want to get Emily on, but
well, you've had Matt on.
I've had
your
Matt.
podcast.
Yeah. But I mean, Emily's ignoring me at the moment. Hello, Emily.
She's
Hello.
busy. She's really busy.
Jake. Hello, Emily. Come on the show. But no, he's great. I think they're doing something. Look, do you know every single person that's been on the podcast? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know you. Yeah. I don't know anybody. No. So
but somehow we're all intertwined.
Yeah, but the thing that's great about this podcast that me and Chris created, and the idea behind it, and where it's growing, is it's actually not a gym bro podcast. It's not me and Chris talking every week together. I'm talking to you guys, and we're just talking about our lives in and around the gym. And why is it that we love this place? Why is it we go to
what
it?
brings us,
Yeah,
why do we morph ourselves to this
in there,
area? Yeah.
and the characters are, and the characters we are outside it, because like I said, there's all these things going on. So talking about things around us, I wanted to bring up, I'm just looking at my questions. I've got a few here. I'll BB in a second, because I'll kind of segue to the finish there.
IFBB. I've got my medals here. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see them. But all right, you know what? We're going to, one second. Let me just read it. With all pride, knowing you wanted to compete. Now IFBB, the real bodybuilder, when you were. No, I think we've already answered that. I'm just looking at what we've answered. So when you decided to go to IFBB, we're talking about, let's think about it. You haven't been, you've definitely were the aerobics odd style. There's no denying, and you're a sporty girl, and you're probably a bit of a tomboy. You're probably a bit of a tomboy, right? So, but when you bring yourself into the gym, and the thing is, you've gone the fast lane. There's people that never even grab a lane, but you seem to have indicated, get out of my way, Steve. Yeah, you said, Steve, I know you're here. I know you're doing really great. Get the fuck out of my arms, going speed. I'm going fast lane. So you've indicated and you've gone into the fast lane. Did you think that, like, do you sometimes think to yourself, because you are, I'm telling you, do you, because you've done everything that is gym related and style aerobics, everything. Do you think when you went from transformations to fucking IFBB, like, what the fuck? That's like you've just leapfrogged. Do you get ever imposter syndrome?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
the reason why I did transformation for that other federation is because that was the only federation that was doing that category. No other federation does transformation. So
I know that I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you were
so that is
dipping
the
your
reason why I
toes. That was a
fell
different-
into that category. And it was on the Gold Coast. It was convenient. And it was, it was a big show. And I think for me to step on stage in a bikini after I've lost the weight, because that was the whole part of my journey of my confidence. I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I was doing it just for me. And I loved that that federation was inclusive for that. So it has its benefits for that. And there are other people previous to me and after me that will continue to do that category. And I think it's a wonderful category for people. You don't necessarily have to be a bodybuilder or a bikini athlete or whatever.
I think it's great. I didn't even know about it. I think Nikki told me.
Until someone told me about it as well. I was the same. And then when I got tapped on the shoulder by John, and he said, I really think, because I got super lean. Again, I had the blinkers on. I think that comes with age and wisdom. I wasn't emotional. I wasn't like, oh, this is too hard, I can't hack it. I literally put the blinkers on and said, this is what I'm going to do. And I got shredded to the bone, and I think I was, pretty shredded. But I think a little bit too lean when I look back at those photos, which was for the wrong, like it wasn't, I was super lean for transformation. Like nobody else on stage looked like me for transformation. I actually have a photo, again, I should send to you. I'm standing on stage sort of doing the Wonder Woman, Superwoman pose, and you've got other competitors looking at me on stage. And they're all just going,
Have you got your WBFF trophy there?
No.
Because I know you said you got your IFBB ones. That's what I'm going to say.
It's in the cupboard somewhere. So I got that. So got that, and then so IFBB was born. The idea. Because bodybuilding, and again, I'm not all glitzy and glamoury, and
that's what I'm saying is I can't see you being a WBFF person. I can't see.
I could have moved into the fitness category of that.
Can't see you doing that, but
No, and then if you ever speak to get Emily on, she did and
Oh,
because
yeah,
it
she
was
was
a
great at
world
it.
champion, but
Yeah.
she'll talk about it now. She's just not that feminine. Like that's
Yeah.
just, but she did go down that pathway, and
Yeah, of
because
course.
that's what it was back then.
Yeah.
And now you see her in IFBB, and bam, she fits
She,
that federation beautifully.
wow. Yeah, she's
She's phenomenal. I love him. She is absolutely
mm,
phenomenal. So yeah, so IFBB is bodybuilding, and
mm,
it's everyone's got poses. It's not trying to do
yeah.
all this other shit,
Mm,
and that again
yeah.
resonated with me. I thought I work hard in the gym. I don't work out. I train. There's a
Mm,
big difference. You go
mm,
to the gym and work out, or you go to the gym and train. I train. That's what I love doing.
mm,
And IFBB was just resonated with me beautifully. And again, a very strong federation, very welcoming, and all the people I've met along the way. And when I was watching IFBB in Queensland, I saw Mike get his pro card. And so again, researched him. That's when I had my shoulder done. And I thought, that is who I want to coach me before I step on stage. So I reached
I was
out.
in Queensland at that show watching it.
Well, yeah, oh, you could
I
have said
was.
hi.
I was in the
um,
crowd. Yeah. It
loved it. Just, yes, phenomenal.
was a great show.
And great show. And so I reached out to Mike, and I actually flew down to Melbourne,
Mm,
and went to his gym. He was prepping um, for his pro card.
yeah.
And he took the time, even though he had, laser focus vision. He took time out of his day to speak to me, and I thought, you have sealed the deal for me. You are the guy for me. He could have been an asshole and said, no, fuck off, I'm training, da, da. But I thought, no, that's sealed the deal for me. And so yeah, I've been with Mike ever since, and he took me to my IFBB debut in April of this year.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. So tell me something. Is he really a marshmallow?
He is on the inside, yes, but he'll
Is
kill
he
me
a
for saying
marshmallow?
that.
He looks so
He
tough on
is.
the outside. He
He is.
scares
Look,
me.
he's a
He's,
family man. He's
he's
a
scared.
husband. He's a
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
He's a businessman. He's an
Mm,
online coach. He's a face-to-face coach. The
mm,
stature of what you see on the outside, he's a very private man as well. So I respect
mm,
all of those aspects of him. And a
mm,
lot of people have their view on Mike because they
mm.
actually don't know him as a man.
Oh,
Um,
they're just picturing. They're just going by the image. They're not going by anything else. Like whatever
yeah.
that
But
image is,
he's
I'm just saying.
funny. He's the funniest guy. He's
Is he?
hilarious. But
Oh,
he's
yeah.
also very serious. Like,
Mm,
he has found, again, on one of my videos on my thing, if you want to find, he found my failure point. I think I did 30 something reps on the hack spot before
yeah.
he found my failure point. And I didn't know I had that in me. And that's what I love about him. Everyone's different, and he loves finding everyone's
Yeah.
individualness. So he knows you intimately. I think he knows me better than me sometimes.
Look, he comes across, I guess, if I could say, he comes across intense. He comes across serious, and stealth. He comes across a bit stealth, but I kind of know, yeah, definitely. But from what I've seen lately, some of his posts, I've really not. When I say I appreciate people, I always appreciate when they're themselves. The fact his openness and talk about
Everything.
drugs, everything, and also talks about I can see, but I also think, like I said, I probably know he's probably a very sensitive guy, probably marshmallowish, like you said, funny, at times, which is great
But
to see.
stealth mode, like when you're in comp prep, he is 110% focused on you. And I was very fortunate that when I did Vic States, I was his only competitor. He's got other, season B, season C, he's there forever sort of on that wheel. But I was very, very lucky. He had someone for New South Wales, he had someone for Queensland, blah, blah, blah. But for Victoria alone, I was the only competitor for him as one of his clients. And oh my God, bang, you know, the timing of everything. He was just phenomenal, and he was there so supportive through everything. And even he said, look, Charlotte, you've already won. To actually stand on stage, most people pull out for some reason or whatever. You've got
Yeah.
here. You're a winner in my eyes by just standing here today.
Mm.
And that meant the world to me by,
Yeah.
not that I was looking for an accolade, but he's absolutely right. I should be proud of myself for even just getting that far. And then I had practiced entering the stage on the right, and then when I got there on the day you were entering on stage left, I had an absolute meltdown behind stage.
A
And my
meltdown.
fellow competitors were trying to calm me down. I was like,
Mm.
oh my God, I can't do this today. And they were, and again, that federation's so beautiful. The other figure girls that I was competing against forgot about themselves, all rallied around me backstage and said, you've got this, you can do this, just start on this leg, blah, blah, blah. Because they were seasoned athletes. This was my first time. I'm still nervous as hell. Not sure. It took me probably a couple of weeks before I actually saw the footage, but got on stage and did, what did I do? I think I did first time, true novice, masters and open. So I was on stage 4 times. Absolutely loved it. Walked away with some medals.
Show us some of the
Well, here's the gold.
God, yeah, wow, yeah. Go on.
And 1,
Mm-hmm.
2,
Yeah, keep going. Yeah. Go, Chris.
3.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
And
keep going. Yeah, of course.
and a bronze. So yeah, walked away with all these
lot of
medals. I'll flip them over.
lot of chocolates.
Yeah, and they're heavy. These things are heavy.
Yeah.
And they feel like you've
No
actually.
wonder registration is so expensive.
Yeah, it's actually quite reasonable, and it's in Australian dollars. I think I can't remember. I think you've got to register NPC, which is worldwide. So I could do a show in America if I wanted to, which I think is fantastic.
Can I ask something? I feel like I should ask this because we're pretty mature here, and I'll segue it in like this. You don't have to answer anything if you don't want to, and thankfully this podcast we've never needed to edit anything really, but we can edit it out. Did you know, like, what surprised me in this sport is, especially with WBFF, FMG, and IFBB, which really surprised me, still does to today, is PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're a medical professional, and I don't want to go down the line of if you took or what you took. What I know is I know who's natural up on stage, which is shocked me more that there's people competing up on stage quite natural. Did you find that interesting? Because you could have gone down NPCs, you could have gone NABBers, you could have gone, like, everybody can go everywhere and you can compete any way you want. Like, I took steroids at the age of 50, just to let you know. That was the first time I did a cycle in my life. And to be honest, I loved it and then realized I don't need it. I've never taken it.
I think, you know, there's this misconception. One federation is one, another federation is another. Like, you know, if you do this federation, it's a natural federation. If you do this federation, it's full of PEDs. Like, WBFF is full of PEDs, but full of naturals as well. Same with IFBB. Like, it's full of naturals and full of, you know, the big guys. Of course they're on it.
I mean, Matt was open. Everyone's been open. Everyone who's said they're on it.
No, and but in figure, you can do figure natural or not. But I think in bikini, there are some bikini girls on PEDs that don't need to be.
Don't worry about that. We know that, yeah.
But I honestly think it's very much an open you know, federation where you can stand next to somebody that's on PEDs and someone that's natural, and you'd be surprised who's natural and who's not. You'd be very surprised.
Can I ask you, was your skill ripping up? Because you seem to.
I love getting shredded, and
something's about you. I think that's your edge. I think
and Mike even said to me,
I think
Mike was feeding me into show. He said, I just can't understand you. You are an anomaly.
She's an anomaly, man. She shreds, Chris.
I can shred. I can. And I find that easier
Wow.
I mean, I'm trying to put on muscle, and it's hard because I'm 50.
Mm.
If I did this when I was in my 20s, I'd be finding it a hell of a lot easier to put on muscle. But as we age, we know atrophy happens. So it's like I'm shoveling shit up a hill. It's really, really hard for me to put on muscle, and I'm okay with that. I'm just doing the best that I can do. I'm eating a ton of chicken and rice, and
Yeah.
at the peak of my build with Mike, I think I was just over 4,000 calories, which is pretty big for a woman. And in the end, it's just food in the end. But the shredding part, loved it. And you can see with WBFF, when I did that for transformation, I shredded to the bone because that's what I can do. And everyone is either genetically blessed with big muscles or tiny waists. I can get lean. That's
I think I can see that's a superpower in bodybuilding with you. Like,
yeah.
I
I'd
don't
love
know.
to have big delts and tiny waists, but
Of course.
unfortunately that's not my makeup. So I've got to do the best that I can do.
Well, you got to turn up competitive and intimidating in some era of that stage, and you're the one that comes up ripped. So I guess,
Other people have beautiful 8-packs. I
yes.
won't ever get an 8-pack.
No, I don't think.
I mean, if the only time I get an 8-pack is if I lie down flat in bed and really crunch at the end of the night after I've had a full day of carbs. That's when I look phenomenal. And I was joking to Tracy Guile because I stepped on stage for nationals with her. And she said, because I didn't even know the poses for physique category. I literally learnt them the morning of the show. She said, then you've got to do the front pose. And I'm like, I haven't got any abs. She goes, yeah, you do. And I said, well, can I lie down on stage? And then you'll be able to see them. And she said, well, you can if you like, but I'm not quite sure how that'll be.
So you didn't do posing classes?
No, see, I entered the category of figure. That's what I was entering.
Yeah.
So here's a little segue. So registration day for nationals. So I'd done Vic, and then I was doing nationals 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So Tracy had won her Queensland state titles. So she was heading down to Melbourne because it was a pro qualifier. She'd been chasing her pro card for 10 years for physique, blah, blah, blah. She gets to registration and people had pulled out in that category for whatever reason. She gets to registration and it's just her. She's realised, and the federation's realised, she wasn't eligible for her pro card by just being the only person on stage. So unbeknownst to me, I'm waiting to get tanned, waiting in line, and Mike calls me over from the other side and saying, Charlotte, and I'm like, what? So I come over, and Tracy and Millard are standing there, and they've got this huge grin on their face, but she's looking a little bit nervous. And Mike goes, Tracy. I said, I don't know her personally, but I know who she is. She's phenomenal. You're amazing. Love you.
Yeah, we're going to have her on the podcast soon. Yeah.
Yeah, you must.
I will.
I'm sure she's in your black book.
We've dated it now, so we're just seeing, because she's going to Olympia. She's going.
She is.
Yeah. So we'll just see if I can fit her in before she goes. But go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, so long the story short, Mike explains to me she's not eligible for her pro card because she's the only registration. He said, Charlotte, you are conditioned. I reckon if you just register and just stand there, she's eligible. And he said, what do you think? And without a doubt, without even a second of thinking about it, I said, Tracy, if this allows you to be eligible for your pro crowd, I am 100% on board. I will stand on stage next to you. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I will register.
Cool.
And that's the thing. I want someone to do well. I get more joy out of someone else doing well than I do for myself sometimes. So, and Mike just turned to Tracy and he said, see, I knew she would.
Well, I want to tell Chris this story. Chris, because Charlotte, at the Nationals, she was in a going in a competition that she never registered for, wasn't going to enter it. But Tracy, one of the girls that we're going to have on soon, was eligible to get pro card, and probably hands down should get the pro card. And it doesn't matter if there was 5 girls on stage, she was probably going to take it out. But because there was no one else there, they went up to Char and said, do you mind entering this category as well? And she hadn't done any voting for it.
Yeah. So I
she
registered.
jumped on stage. She went on stage to help that lady get, because you have to have 2 people competing.
Well, minimum someone else other than
Minimum
yourself.
someone else competing against you. So because
and then
she got a pro card, and she's going to Olympia now.
Yeah. So I literally chose the song the morning of the Nationals going down the Nepean Highway, because I put on a Freedom by George Michael. I'm not going to let you down.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it had a meaning because I was helping somebody else out.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah. So, and again, I grew up with that song, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so that came on. I just literally pressed on my playlist. I thought something's got to sing to me. And then choreography, I made up my choreography backstage before I went on stage.
You just could have. Yeah.
I ad-libbed it, but the beautiful thing about it was I wasn't wearing heels. You could do your own choreography, and which I ad-libbed. And I actually had more fun doing physique than I did feeling. I don't get me wrong, I love the figure. So the feedback I got from the judges from nationals as well as states was conditioning undeniably fantastic. If you're to stay in figure, to grow your delts. And
so are you going to stay in figure?
Well, at the moment we're in a BILT, and where we fall, we will see where we land.
Okay.
So the plan is what are we? We're 2024. The plan is season C 2025 or season A 2026. So time is on your side. And again, I think so many people go through a build 6 months, 3 months, and they do back-to-back shows. And in the true world of bodybuilding, as you know, time is if you're in a build, then you got to have time. I mean, Matt he did a build for like 3 years before he stepped on stage again, and then he got his pro card and absolutely blitzed with IFBB when he did his. So time, time's going to pass anyway. So I've got time on my side. So if I want to improve and build, I don't have this rush to step back on stage. And again, if competitions ended today, I would still do what I do.
Tell me, was it not enough that you had to go and do the PCA Australia show as well? Yeah, what happened there? Like, did Mike say we're not stopping now, or did you go Mike, we're not stopping now?
He DM'd me and he said, "Hey, you should do this." And I'm like, "What?" He said, "It's a week after IFBB Nationals. You're in Melbourne. You're conditioned. It's another federation. It's stage time. It's experience." And I'm like, I didn't even know much about this federation. It's very big and strong in Europe, and it's been around in Australia for a while.
I did not know it.
And but again, if you're not focused on that federation, you don't really see a lot of it. Again, so I rock up to Dandenong and peel off the dressing gown sort of thing, the black robe sort of thing, and again, I just went, "Who the hell is that?" Stepped on stage and walked away with a gold. So
awesome.
Yeah. So again, I did my routine that I ad-libbed at the IFBB, and the feedback from the judges was, for your age, we've never seen anyone condition like you.
What category was that again you went into?
That was masters. I did masters for that one.
Masters in what?
Well, again, different federation. They
Were you
had,
wearing high heels in that? I just wanted to know.
well, yeah, a bit of both. So it was weird. You did your poses, quarter turn to the right, blah, 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 and that was in heels. But then your individual, I was barefoot. So there was a bit of both. So there was a bit of like a chameleon between the two federations. And again, the category, it was called athletic. Oh, hang on, figure athletic. So there was figure, then there was figure sport, and then there was figure athletics. So because of my conditioning, which was way more than someone that was just figure, which to me, in my eyes, looked like bikini because it was softer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, a different federation, not overly look, and they ran it really well, and it was a fantastic day. But it was certainly not my main bit. It was just a bit on the side, and to walk away with a gold medal for that too was just great.
Look, it is. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm going to do another hot topic, and then we'll start wrapping it through to the finish line. You ready for a hot topic? Because I know you
Go for your life. Yeah.
All right,
topic.
Chris, are you ready for this hot topic? Okay. The topic is the Curiosity rover, just recently on Mars. I'm reading really exciting news, guys. Has made a most unusual find to date on Mars. It found, on Mars, it actually rolled over a rock, which broke the rock, and it showed that it had sulfur in it. This 1 ton rover rolled over a rock, it cracked and revealed these yellowish green crystals never spotted before on the red planet.
It's sulfur.
Sulfur is like, what's sulfur, Chris?
We used that in science class. Come on.
No, I did fail everything. What was that? Sulfur's a mineral, but sulfur.
We used to grind the
I think
sulfur. Don't you
sulfur-
remember that? And then lighting it in science class, it would go.
But yeah, I think sulfur is. They're trying. Look,
Isn't it like yellow, like sand?
sand, yeah, but I think it's trying to show water, sand, salt, maybe sulfur. But let's go with this. This is my question to you guys: Are we fucking wasting our time up on Mars? What the fuck are we doing there? That's one.
Don't you remember watching Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah. Waste of fucking time back then. That was what, 25, 30 years ago. There's nothing up there.
And do you think it's a money laundering system? That's why that's what they're doing. I think. And is there such a thing as a Swiss bank account? And is a Swiss bank account in Switzerland?
Well, I do
That's
know
the
a
hot
Swiss
topic,
banker,
guys.
actually.
What's that?
I said I do know someone that owns a Swiss bank, but But anyway, look,
is that why they have Swiss banks? For that reason?
For throwing money away.
Or throwing it into there to hide it.
I don't know. But I don't know.
Mars, yeah. Come on, guys.
It's a planet out there. Why don't we focus on the planet that we're on?
That's what I'm saying is. Actually, what do you think of Mars, Chris?
We're never going to live there. We'll be dead and gone by then anyway.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's just say this. Someone comes to you and says, Char or Chris, you guys can go to Mars.
No, thanks.
And wait a minute, but you go to Mars, why don't you just go live in the middle of Australia? It's red there and nothing's
It's the same bloody thing. There's nothing there, and it's hot, and then it's cold at night.
Maybe they're not at Mars. Maybe they are in the middle.
Maybe that's where they are.
Money laundering.
And it wasn't
system.
the sulfur, it's the uranium that's in the Australian Earth.
Look, I think it's a money laundering system, guys. I'm sorry to say it. Send money to space because you don't have to prove it. Because
it's a WAFTAM. That's what it is. It's a WAFTAM. What's that? A WAFTAM.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm telling you. Okay. So you told us about your building phase. Lovely. So right now, the two more.
Yes.
Right now, you wrote that you like being a role model for your kids.
Yes.
Their friends, a muscle mummy, protector of the young ones at the gym. So you're protector.
Yeah.
Inspiring others through IG. Why is that all so important to you now? And why do you think it's bodybuilding that made you show off that trait?
I think it's not the be all and end all because, like I say, my private life is Instagram is a highlight of what I do, and what I do for pleasure is exercising, and then once every now and again I enter in a competition and I focus on that goal and do a 20-week cut or whatever. But generally, you're in a build or you're maintaining, but it's more about maintaining a healthy lifestyle. A lot of women my age, I speak to either face-to-face, in-person, text message, the old-fashioned rather than being DMs. And they're all like, how did you do it? How did you start? Where did you start? And that's what I share. Not what I necessarily share on Instagram, but I share with people when they ask the question. And so I'm using Instagram as a platform, essentially. And to be picked up by a sub company is...
Yeah, how do you get all that? How do you get all the sub companies and the ambassador and sponsorship, paid athlete? What's going on? Are you just a good salesman? You're good at KPIs, aren't you?
I've always been very good at KPIs.
You're going to come work for us. You're going to come work for us.
But even Primabolics is my most recent pickup for sub company. But also the thing is, I've never chased them. Good rice, the creamy rice. I bought the creamy rice because oats make me bloated. So I was looking for an alternative. I came across creamy rice. I would buy it and loved it. And I would tag it, on my stories, saying, this stuff's the bomb, forget oats, the way is creamy rice. And then over time, I bought a shitload of the stuff. So I only promote what I believe in and what I use. And the same with Primabolics. Been even on my reel, you'll see on my Instagram, it's sort of like a little story of how I came about it from my whole fitness journey. I have been using Primabolics for years. And again, it sits well in my gut, and I like their formula. I like the way it is. So it was a nice fit for me. Again, going into starting to wear fitness apparel, I tried other brands and I found that Muscle Nation was a good fit for my body. And again, that came with time. So promoting what I promote, I get a lot of DMs of we'd like for you to promote this product. But if I'm not using it or I don't believe in it, I'm not going to promote it. I only promote what I believe in and what I actually use. Look, there was another sub company that would love to have had me, but they're again a smaller one, and but good friends with them, and they like what I do and see that I'm organic with what I do. Yeah, again, I never went and chased these things. They have just naturally, organically come along the journey with me. So it's been a fantastic bonus, really.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's cool. So there was two questions there that we just wanted to know. What is important to you, your life at this very moment? What is important to you right now?
Health is wealth. If you look after your insides by ingesting what you put in, you're looking after your microbiome, you're looking after your gut, because that is literally the epicenter to feed everything else. And I guess with my nursing background, but also learning about, I did a nutrition course because I wanted to learn about more. And then I have Mike as my coach because that's his area of expertise. And he can teach me more about that, about training and tempo and all sorts of things. So I can then all put it together in one picture. And first and foremost, that's for me. Nobody else. I'm not doing it for anyone else. At the end of the day, I'm just a girl going to the gym, working out, eating well, sleeping well, so that when I'm older, I want to be the oldest person in the gym rather than the youngest person in the nursing home.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, that's a good. What did you call
I
that?
will definitely be the oldest person in the gym until the day I die. I will probably die in a gym. God, I hope or not. I don't. But I can imagine having a carer. I'm 80 and I've got a wheelie walker, and my carer's some buff muscle guy, and he goes and works out. He helps me with the weights and this, that, and the other, and then takes me home and feeds me chicken and rice. And I imagine that's what I'll do in my 80s, rather than sitting out, being plonked in a chair in a nursing home, staring out at the window, wishing I had a life.
I'm writing this
But
down.
that's what I love doing. And then by showcasing it on Instagram, and sharing that, hopefully I can motivate others. I hate the word motivation, because motivation comes and goes. I certainly have dedication. As I said to myself, I will do this for the rest of my life, and made that change. I made that one promise to myself. So if I can help someone, one person, 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, if I can help them change their life with my platform, then that's just an added bonus. I don't find it difficult. I post every day. It's not a chore. It's a joy for me. And I think, if as long as that keeps happening, then I'll keep posting every day. Like it or love it or hate it, I am here to stay.
Well, I think it's cool. How many coaches have you had? That was.
So I had my first face-to-face coach, and then I moved to my first online coach, because you're forever evolving and you want to learn more. And he at that time was coaching people for WBFF, and then I left him because we didn't align, just for whatever reason. He now doesn't do coaching for competition anymore anyway, so he's changed his thing. But we're still good mates, because I never burn my bridges, because you just never know if you're going to go back to somebody. And then I did that for a bit. So then I had my shoulder reconstruction. Just before my shoulder reconstruction, I was just doing some face-to-face with a PT out of World Jim Burley, which was great, because I kind of missed the face-to-face coaching of someone, move your arm this way, or watching as you're doing that. So I did that. Then I had my shoulder reconstruction, and I said to the face-to-face coach, I said, look, I'm obviously having surgery, just need a break, And then I moved back to Albury and started my rehab. And that's when I moved with Mike, because I thought I'll go through my rehab, get some strength, and then we will prep for my first show. So I've been with Mike ever since. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, three people.
Actually 4.
And the good thing about Mike is that, yes, he is my online coach, but every now and again, I actually drive down to Melbourne and we do face-to-face. So I have he's my hybrid. So I have the best of both worlds. So I have online and face-to-face with Mike. So I'm fairly lucky that way.
Okay, before we go over the body, because we're going to go over the body, I just want to know, because out of all this, what made you do nursing?
Because I wanted to help people.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, because you were KPIs.
Well, I was corporate real estate.
40. Yeah, real estate. Like it, whatever.
I was 40.
When did nursing? Because nursing is definitely caring about people, I guess.
And you're certainly not in it for the money, I can tell you, because it's
shit
not
in for the money. Shit money, shit
no,
hours.
You're definitely not in the money.
Yeah.
I like to help people. I feel like my personality.
Did you want to be a doctor? Maybe it was your segue to be a doctor.
No, I didn't want to be a doctor, because you're never home.
No.
I don't know. I did see that my father was helping people, and that gave him joy.
Okay, cool.
I just have a natural ability to lift other people up. I would say I'm compassionate, and I think that's why you fall into nursing, if you're compassionate about something. And I'm all passionate, and I think that's why I love doing what I'm doing. Also with the bodybuilding, I'm very passionate about it. I'm passionate about everything I do, because I want to be the best that I can be. in doing everything I'm going to do. And nursing, I can't really see myself doing other things, really. Yeah.
Well, if there was a choice now, someone said,
Okay.
Char, you can only choose one. Both have equal success. Both have equal money, equal everything. But you have to choose one. Is it bodybuilding or nursing?
I go to work so I can train. My friends at the hospital know that I go to work to earn money so I can do what I truly love, and that is.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is you don't need the money, meaning you can choose one.
But it'll be bodybuilding,
All right, so
100%.
you'd be a bodybuilder. All right. So, fuck everyone in
Yes,
the hospital.
yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I love my nursing, but I have this. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to explain. It is really hard to explain.
That's that's a good answer. I get it. I can feel it. I mean, do you know what? If I had to choose myself, I just thought of it now. I'm not in the shower because usually I think in the shower a lot. But actually, I have cold showers now, so I don't think much anymore. Other than fuck, this is cold.
It's cold. I
That's
just
all I
have to
say.
walk outside.
I tell you, it's a purpose why I do the cold shower, and it's not for the physical. It's actually for the mental. The cold shower. The cold shower gets me. If I wake up feeling a bit negative or concerns about things,
It'll shock you
well, when I have a
into.
shower, the first thing I go is, fuck me. What the fuck am I doing this for? So I've got a new fuck. I mean, I've got a new angry.
Yeah.
And
And
because
you
I've got a
forgot
new
about the old
angry,
fuck.
I forgot about what I got up with. What did I get up with again?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and I heard that from someone else in a podcast. That's why they do their cold shower. And it just happened to be that I was doing it. I said, now I know why I do it. I don't know. I think this business, this bodybuilding business, and if it was to be at the gym, I think I like business too much. I don't know what it is. I don't think bodybuilding floats my boat completely.
Well, I mean, when you say bodybuilding, as in you wake up, you eat, you go to the gym, you
Yeah.
sleep, you know,
But I mean, even if
and
I've
you do
got all the
nothing else,
riches in the
start
world,
bodybuilding.
yeah.
If I had all the money in the world, like I wouldn't have to think about money. I love the fact that you turn up, you meet your fellow man. It's the new way of going to the pub, I suppose. It's a social aspect. And I love the fact that whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief, you all go there and you are all even. No one's
Oh,
greater than the other. And I
it's
love that.
become like that. It's become like that.
I've got
It is a good
surgeons that train at my local gym, and lawyers and policemen and ambos, nurses,
You know, back when you wore leg warmers,
entrepreneurs.
when you were a
No,
leg
there's
warmer,
not so much leg
wasn't
warmers
back.
now, but there's the young girls.
Oh, there's a lot. Don't worry. There's new
I
warmers.
watched.
There's new warmers. There's new warmers. No more leg warmers.
Well, I watched Mike released one of his YouTube things last night, and I watched it, and I laughed my head off.
Are you fat up or fed up? Tired of boring food? We just cooked this from our What Should I Eat cookbook. It's also on an ebook, making it more affordable for you. So,
get your copy at threeog.shop.
we're going to go over the body. I'm going to tell you a body part. You're going to tell me an exercise, sets and reps. If you don't train it, you just say don't train it. Okay? That's all you need to say.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Go.
Traps.
Traps, don't train it.
Okay. Delts. Out of the delts.
Oh, yeah, delts. Yeah. So traps, I don't train. That's, I don't want big traps.
Delts.
No.
Shoulders.
No. Delts. I am currently training, so there's a lot of. I do an exercise that's quite old school. It's very
Yep.
1980s. I do delts 6 ways, so I do have popped them on my stories. Yeah. They're an absolute killer. Well, it all depends on what the positioning. So if you if you want to do front delts, you obviously
Yep.
do front delts, side delts. Then also there's cables as well with your arms sort of the cable coming from behind your back as well.
All right, give
Huh?
us one exercise. Give us one exercise. Out of delt, do you do side raises? How many sets and reps?
Side raises. I will use the machine and I will do 4 sets of 50.
4 sets of 50.
Yeah, you do 20, 15, 10, 10, 5, 5, and yeah, you're absolutely dead. I do that 1 day a week, and then the other day a week I do the machine of just 2 sets of 12, but they're a heavier weight. So yeah, slightly different. But that is the aim from the feedback from the judges, is to build my delts. So I'm doing a truckload of those.
Front delts, what would you do for front delt?
Cables.
Yep. Raises?
Slightly, because you're on an incline
Yep.
bench.
Oh, yes.
So it's not necessarily chest, but it's delts.
I know which one you're right to. Yeah. How many sets and reps?
See, again, only 2 reps, maybe 15 to 25 reps.
Okay. Rear delts?
Rear delts, yes, I do train rear delts.
What do you train? Give us one exercise.
On the machine, on the reverse pec deck.
How many sets and reps?
I do 4 reps and 4 sets, and God, I'm visualizing my program. 4 reps and 12 to 15. 4 sets, 12 to 15 reps.
Okay. Chest?
Don't chase it.
Okay. Back?
Yes, train it.
What do you do? One exercise, just one exercise, sets and
Lat-
reps.
Lat pull downs. 4 sets, 12 to 15 reps.
Okay. Abs?
Don't train it.
Okay. Bicep?
These tiny little things, yes, I do train those,
What do you train?
unfortunately.
Yeah. One exercise, sets and reps.
What do I do? 3 sets, 15 reps.
What is it? Bicep, standing bicep curls, preacher curl. What would you do?
Well, it depends on the day. So
Pick one, just one. We want one.
Oh,
Dumbbell
bicep curls, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barbell or dumbbells?
Dumbbells.
Okay. Tricep?
100%. I love my salmon steaks.
Okay,
sure.
so what do you do for an exercise? Like lateral pull down?
I use a gym accessory called B-strap.
Yep.
So I've been
Which
with
you are
Chris,
sponsored or something
which
like
I
that?
am sponsored by B-strap, but I've known Chris and Christian from the day they started B-strap, and they asked me to be an ambassador for that. And love training triceps with B-strap. They've got a number of different accessories, whether it's grip strength and stuff like that. So they got small, medium, large.
But what would you do? What's the exercise you do? What's the exercise?
For the
Tricep.
traps?
Tricep.
Well, it's on the machine, and
Cable.
yeah. So and it's about tempo as well. It's not necessarily about going heavy. It's about tempo and the fact that I use the B strap. And with traditional ropes, you can sort of only go like that. With the B strap, you can really curl it. And if you look at your anatomy of your arm again, which fascinates me, and really, really straighten it out, and then move your sort of forearm, you can really, really, really get the meathead of your tricep muscle.
How many sets and reps?
4 sets, 15 reps.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, like I'm going through the whole body. Forearms, do you train your forearms? You can say no.
Don't need to.
I know. Quads,
yes.
Give us an exercise.
That's my weakness, because I need to grow my quads. We all need to grow our quads.
Yes.
We have, because I've got hip dysplasia as well. So I use machines that other people, I can't squat in the racks. It's just the way it is. So we're lucky enough that we have a squat press machine at World Gym Albury. So I use that for my quads.
How many sets and reps?
Oh, that's that one. I think I do three sets, and I think I get to 15 before I pass out. Because that's a heavy day. And then I would also use the hack squat machine as well.
How many sets and reps there on hack squat?
Hack squat's only 2 sets.
How many reps?
So the first
set. How many
set,
reps? Yeah, how many reps? 2 sets. How many reps?
well, the first set is up to 12, and that's as heavy. They're heavy, and then the second set is a back off one, and that's 15 to 25.
Okay. What about hammies?
Hammies, yes, I do back extensions.
Yep.
Hyper extensions. So I do that, and again, that's with tempo. And I used to do it with plates. But now it's just body weight. I've come to the way Mike trains. It's just body weight and tempo, and I find that more effective for me. Again, everyone's different. So for those, I think I do 4 sets, 25 reps. Absolute burner.
Wow.
And then hammies, I do kneeling curls. And lying leg curls as well.
How many sets and reps?
Oh, with those two, 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps.
So when we went hyperextension, we were talking about the glutes, because I'm about to ask you about glutes.
Well, it's a glute hammy tie-in. So many people do that exercise wrong. And I sometimes, if I'm not feeling it or I'm not quite doing it, I might have a day where I'm not quite feeling it. But so I see so many people in the gym do that exercise wrong every single day. And I bite my tongue because I'm not a personal trainer, so therefore I can't go up to them in that gym. They might think they're doing it correctly, or they've just looked at YouTube or whatever. And I'm not going to invade that person's personal space because I'm not training them. So I respect their privacy and their space, but I see so many people do it incorrectly. So if anyone's watching this and want to know how to do, please come and approach me and ask me, or find a trainer that actually knows how to do it properly. Because
we're talking about the hyperextension, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many people, and all they do is they feel it in their lower back and they feel it nowhere else.
Well, that was actually once upon a time. That's what we did it for. I know it's been revolutionized to do glutes as well now, because I know by the movement and and the isolation in that movement. Since we're talking about the fat ass, what do you do for glutes? And then I'm going to ask you, should guys do hip thrusts? So what do you?
I knew this question was coming. Yes.
We're going to start a
year.
revolution when it comes to hip thrusts. If you think the world's divided now, wait till you see the guys that stand on the hip thrust pro the hip thrust non-pro. So tell me, what do you do for glutes?
Well, I actually do use the hyperextension for glutes.
Okay.
Lunges. Would you be surprised? RDLs,
yeah.
No
hip thrust?
I do have it once a week.
Okay. How many sets and reps?
Well, I superset it with something else. So I superset it with hamstrings. So I do lying leg curls, and then I move, and then I do lunges, and then I move on to the hip thrusts. So it's not a main focus. It's an accessory, I would call it. I wouldn't say it's a main focus of mine. So many people, that's all you see, these young 20-year-olds. That's all through their Instagram is bloody hip thrusts, hip thrusts, hip thrusts.
So tell me. Obviously, you're saying there's more.
It's an accessory. It's not the be-all and end-all.
Oh, so hip thrust is an accessory. It's not the be-all and end-all, and everyone's making it like it's do or die hip thrusts.
It's not do or die. And I know you had someone else saying, oh, you've got to do it. And then another one said, no, throw it out. There's
Well,
a place for it, but it's not the be all and end all. Just like, people that squat. I see C-Bum use the Smith machine to squat.
Mm.
He's not in the squat racks. He's in the Smith machine. So, there's many ways to skin a cat, and people have invented machines and they've made a lot of money, the booty builder and all of that jazz.
Yeah, the booty builder.
It's not the be all and end all. You can have a naturally amazing bum or you can have no bum. I see people that are on that machine and I have not seen improvements. So it all depends on what you do and how you do it, really.
So tell me, two things I'm going to ask you. Should men do hip thrust? Actually, three questions. Firstly, should men do hip thrust? And if we do, should we do it when the gym's not full? So no one's watching us. Like when you see a guy do hip thrust, do you go, macho? Wow, look at that guy. He's hip thrusting. Like, how do you, should guys do hip thrust? Should I do hip thrust? Should guys do hip thrust?
Well, to be quite honest, I don't look at other people in the gym. I'm focusing on
All
the
right,
task
you've
at
come
hand.
in. Wait a minute. You've come in.
It's
I'm
not
at the
on
gym.
display. It's facing the wall, thank God.
No, because now they've put the hip thrust machine in the middle of the gym like it's a roundabout. So let's stop there, right?
Oh, Jesus.
So let's say now you've walked in the gym and Chris is
right
there.
there.
No, and Chris is there. And Chris is doing this phenomenal phenomenal leg press. He's leg pressing. And Chris goes, "Hey, Char." And you go, "Hey, Chris." But now let's look at it elsewhere.
Chris.
You've walked in and there's Chris doing
Doing
hip
his hip thrust.
And he goes, "Hey, Char." Are you going to look at him the same way?
And I'd be like, "Mate, looking good, looking sharp."
So you're being sarcastic. Like you're saying, "Fuck, Chris, do the leg press, not the hip thrust."
Depending on how he's doing his hip thrust, I guess.
No.
But,
All right. So, okay. All right. So, like you said, if you saw him on a leg press, you'd be going macho. And if he's on a hip
well,
thrust,
not necessarily. You could be shit on the leg press as well. Who knows? But look, I am. I don't pick and choose. But hip thrusts, I class it as an accessory, not a main exercise.
And do you think the hip thrust is more feminine or masculine?
No, it's neutral.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell me the last question for that.
Instagram's made it feminine.
Okay. Yes. Last question.
Instagram's made it feminine.
Instagram's made it feminine.
Neutral. Yeah.
If I do the hip thrust, will I be better in the bedroom? So if you see a guy doing hip thrust, do you automatically go, "Ooh, that guy, yeah, he's going to be good in the bedroom"?
Oh God, that's made me feel quite awkward.
Really?
Does it make you better in the bedroom?
Well, Philippa thinks yes. Monica, I think Monica took the piss out of it, yes. And Jeff says, "Fuck off."
A hip thrust won't make you better in the bedroom.
It won't?
No. You've either got it or you don't.
Should I ask you what would? Could you help us?
What would make you better in the bedroom?
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Stamina.
Chris could use this. We could use it as a hook bait. Yeah, go on. What makes you good? Come on. You're the first person I'm asking, Char. What makes a guy great in the bedroom?
What makes a guy great in the bedroom? Stamina for one. Stamina, like where no one wants a 30-second
But not
show.
beating it like a
nail.
nail into a paling. Not beating it like a nail. Oh, yes. Is that what you're talking about, Char?
No.
Or a bit of
style. You got to have grace. And it's got to be a performance.
A bit of Barry White. What you're saying is stamina with Barry White in the background.
Bit of everything, yeah. A bit of fireworks, a bit of wow factor, a little bit of oh my God, I'm going to implode.
Oh my God, I'm going to implode.
I need to keep my mouth shut.
No, too late. This is going. Chris is going to have so much hook bait. We're not at all. No, look, I'm going to stop there because it's because the microphone in the room is getting a bit steamy, And I don't want, we don't want to turn this into OnlyFans.
Oh, I'm blushing. I say, I
can
gotta
see
go and
you're
work
blushing.
out now.
I can see you. All right.
It's leg day.
It is leg day. Tell everyone where they can find you. Talk about your sponsors and your ambassadors. So here's your moment. Tell us about.
Absolutely.
Go.
So you can find me on Instagram. You will find me daily. My Instagram handle is Char, CHAR_Todros, TODROS. But you can put it on the link there. I sponsored by, I get Good Rice Society
Other side.
and
Other side.
Primabolics.
Point on the other side.
Sorry.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got Good Society Food Company. That's the cream of rice, many different flavors. We've got Primabolics, all
I'm
your
speaking to them
supplements.
now. I'm speaking to them at the moment. We're looking to have Will on.
Are you having Will on? Oh, awesome.
Mate, this
Excellent,
podcast,
mate.
we're going all the way,
Top
don't you
bloke.
understand? We're going all the way. Soon we'll have C-Bum.
Yes, I'd love to see CBum. So World Gym, I've been an ambassador for them. And B-Strap, how can I forget B-Strap? Chris and Christian, they have been fantastic supporters of me for gym accessories, and within Muscle Nation apparel as well. So look, I'm very lucky. All of that you'll find. There's a link in my Instagram if you want to have a look at those. And it's very simple. I just have one code only, and it is Char.
Char, I want to say thank you.
It's been fun.
It's been a great podcast. Yeah, it's been fun. I most people enjoy it by the end of it.
And it's not all bodybuilding. I think when people look at your podcast, they think she's only going to talk about bodybuilding. So I don't know, if people have lasted this long, they've got to know a little bit about me.
I think, look, we don't know what works, what doesn't work. That's the truth. But what we do know is our KPIs are looking good.
Yeah, good.
So we should be. Our KPIs are looking good.
I love KPIs.
KPIs. Chris is learning about KPIs. We're all learning about KPIs. But I just want to say thank you so much for coming on Muscle Talks podcast.
Been a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.